Hello, Lisa.
How you doing? It's still playing in my head. Why is that? Okay, what's going on? Hey, everybody. What's happening? It is Mischief Monday. Let's see, Leslie, what kind of trouble can we get into?
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if we can get into trouble, but we can certainly talk about how others are getting into trouble.
Right. I think you disappeared for a minute. Everybody was wondering what's going on.
Like how I've kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I should address that. Yeah, so I just kind of needed a break, as you guys all know. I was brutally attacked, but I just sometimes need to do that for myself just to clear my head, kind of regroup, which I'm fine. It just, and I needed to just kind of not think about everything and just, and it was a nice time, and, me and my family hung out, watched scary movies, like just enjoyed ourselves. So
that's cool. Yeah, I actually ended up getting an extra day of rest over the weekend too. My internet went out, and I was like, I'm just gonna hang out with Gabe.
Yeah. So sometimes it's nice when you know what I mean, when you go back to kind of simplistic non-technology. That's kind of what I did.
Yeah.
And it was just nice. It was relaxing. It was well needed. And, I brought my channel back up. I didn't take it down, like delete it or anything. I just kind of put it temporarily on hold just so I could regroup after, that attack I had last week. So,
yeah. I get it. I mean, these people are really intense on what they're doing. But you know what's funny? There's a way these anonymous posters don't realize, but there's a way we can figure out who they are. And let's see, where did it go? I just had it here. This happens to me all the time. I lose screens left and right since I have so many here. For instance, what I'm referring to is there was a post on Facebook. I'm not sure what group it was in, but they're not just under an anonymous post. They're actually under a name, right? Yeah. So how we're not really going and looking at all these things until we get screenshots or links of it or whatever, because it's just too much. It's too much with the attacks and everything. So apparently there was one about you, and this chick, she's got like this puppet avatar, because they're all puppets now.
Yeah,
they're all puppets, and they're proud of that.
What it is the easy way. It's kind of like, and I hate to say it, but it's kind of like what they did throughout history, like with the Ku Klux Klan. It's like, if you're anonymous and they don't know who you are, it's much easier to attack somebody, right?
Right. Well, the keyboard warriors, but they all agree they're all puppets, which I think is really funny. I'm sorry, Muppets, because to me Muppets are puppets. So it's funny that they think this is a good thing. But anyway, so this Muppet person with her avatar under the name Melanie Robin decided to they post something about your Instagram. I guess there was a picture or something on there. So here,
by the way, I haven't used that in God knows how long. But go ahead. Yeah.
So they tried to make comments on you, and I'm like, oh, how funny is this?
Yeah.
And I'm not the one who figured this out, by the way. But it turns out this Melanie Robin person is somebody, her picture shows up, and her name is like another name called D.A. De Black Robin. And her image shows up. So I'm like, so she's trying to hide under another name. Yeah. And then all these other names are popping up. And I'm like, that's interesting. That's interesting, because now we got her real profile. And so it's like these people think they can be anonymous, even under like another name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. I'm like, this is crazy. These people are going to so many different extremes just to post hateful crap.
And I don't even know who these people are. That's what's just so funny about this whole thing. It just shows you the stupidity and the no minds of people to not even know somebody, attacking them. Like I said, I don't know these people,
Yeah. Well, have you seen the latest Hodunks?
Oh God, yes, that was great. You like it?
By the way, guys, there is, if you haven't, I guess there would be 3 new Hodunks.
Yes.
Out there since the movie came out with all of them.
Actually, more than that.
There's more? Then I missed some.
There's a total of 6 short Hodunks since the movie. Now, there was 2 Hodunks made right after I compiled the whole thing into the movie. But then there was 2 short Hodunks, and then I made 4 more Hodunks, like short ones. Like I'm talking like 1 to 2 to 3 minute segments.
Oh, right on. So there's quite a few.
Yes.
And so the Hodunks can be found on Legally Leslie?
On hodunks.com.
Oh, hodunks.com. Okay, so so we got hodunks.com over there. What else do you have? Actually, I think you can find it. You know what's the weirdest thing?
What?
Okay, so wait, my paper just started flying all over the place here. The weirdest thing is someone sent me a link to Shizzy Wiznut thing, right? I guess they thought it was. I thought it was his YouTube channel, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, why? Because this guy is just a weirdo, right? Yeah. Thinks he's clever using AI to write all this stuff, and so I'm like, oh god, what is he saying now? Like, why am I getting the link? So I go to it, but I thought it was YouTube channel, and it was his website, right? So I'm like, hold on a second. I got really confused because it says shizzywiznut.com, but it went to your website. It said Legally Leslie.
Well, yeah. Like I bought his domain.
The address is shizzywiznut.com, but it pulls up your website.
I bought his domain. And I bought his domain. I mean, if he wants to report about me, you know what I mean, under Shizzy Wiznut, and he doesn't want to give his legal name, and he doesn't have it trademarked. He does not have it trademarked. So no, I bought it. I just bought it. And I bought a couple others, and I decided that if they want to talk about me, first of all, unless they have a trademark on their name, I can use it. And they didn't own their websites, and so I purchased all the websites that I could.
My God, no way! All the websites you what did you do?
You want to share a screen, Lisa? You should share a screen. You should share it.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh my God, I gotta look. What do you mean all the websites? Hold on.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Wait, oh my gosh, I totally forgot about this. This is great. I'm glad you're bringing this up. This is funny.
Yeah, because Yeah. All right. Hold on. Wait, I gotta go look.
Yeah.
Well, you want me to screen it?
Yeah. Share a screen.
Should we screen it?
Yeah, because I think the audience would laugh. I think they'll love this.
All right, hold on. Let me get Let me start with Shizzy, and then I can pull it up. What is it again? It's Shizzy
Wiznut. So Whiz is spelled with an H. It's WHIZ. So it's Shizzy
got it.
Wiznut. Yeah, and he doesn't.
This goes to bully exterminators.
Yeah, it goes to bully exterminator. Well, it goes to Hodunks is what it goes to.
Oh my God! Wait, no. When I saw it, it went to Legally Leslie. I was like,
no. It goes to Hodunks now.
Now it goes to.
Yeah, it goes to Hodunks.
Oh my God, I'm gonna die. I'm sorry. I find that hilarious.
No.
Okay, so let me show this.
You gotta show it because that's what's so funny about it.
Okay, so where is it not?
I can try it. Maybe I don't know.
Okay, I got it. All right. So, it's not going to show the website as I type it in because it's only showing.
You have to share
the site. Like it's not showing
You have to share your full screen or something.
All right.
Go like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Go to shizzywiznut.com.
All right. So Shizzy. All right. Hold on. Shizzy Wiznut.com. Now try this. You ready? Put Megan Fox writer. Put Megan Fox writer. No way.
Oh yeah.
All right. Hold on. Megan Fox. Hold on. Writer.com.
Yeah.
It goes to the Hodunks also.
Put in justjhip.com.
No way!
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god!
Oh, yeah. I think I'm messing around. I'm sick. These people want to spread false narratives about me. Well,
that's freaking hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
That is freaking hilarious.
And put in jeremybhales.com.
Oh shit. No. It all goes to the bully exterminators, and on the bully exterminators is the Hodunks.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't put the bully.
I know I'm finding this way more funny than it probably is. I just think it's hilarious. Oh my god, because they're talking so much shit. You know what I mean?
It's like here's the thing. Like, first of all, Lisa, just so you know, I stopped watching older shows. Okay, I just stopped watching. The only reason I know about any of it is when people tell me about it, and I have
exactly.
I have people recording it because obviously I need evidence. When I go into file and everything. So I have people recording it. People, you have to reload it. It might be the browser, but it's jeremybhales.com. It should reload to Hodunks as well. It's been redirected there. But anyway, so
it just stopped. It's not even doing anything. Right?
Well, it'll go. Like if you put in that, it'll go to Hodunks too. But anyways, I just stopped watching.
Actually, it's not doing anything. Hold on a second.
Yeah. Oh, it's your probably it's your proxy, because sometimes you'll be like, you have to use a different search engine, a different browser, like Firewall or like Google, or sometimes different websites will be blocked. Yeah, there it goes. There you go.
That cracked me up.
I know. I'm telling you. Well, the thing is that I don't watch their shows anymore. So anything that's told, I have people out there, recording it for me for my lawsuit, but I don't want it to affect my creativity. So I just stopped watching it because, first of all, I'm not even gonna waste my time, because what I did when I was listening to it, it was so filled with, it was enough obviously to file a lawsuit because it was so filled with lies. But it just got to the point where I was like, this is a waste of my time. I'm not going to listen to this garbage, because you know what I mean? They might think that I'm listening, but I don't listen anymore. I stopped listening like a week ago. I think it was about a week ago after they decided. Yeah,
you have to, because trust me, like, this is all, like I was telling you, like they've done this to us, like, and it's constant, it's all the time. It's whatever happens on a different day, they'll start talking about something, but it's been spread out this whole time. But with you, they went and they just went hardcore. So I get it. And that's why, like, I don't even bother. Like, the Megan, the Tug, I don't. Unless there's a reason. It's like, especially when they started going hardcore on you. I watched a couple of them, but I ended up recording. I'm not even watching anymore. You know what I mean?
No,
so now that I have it recorded, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, as long as you're getting recorded for evidence, it's a waste to watch it. It's nonsense.
Yeah.
These people, as far as I'm concerned, I would, you know what I mean? I just have
bunch of word vomit.
I have zero interest. And even when I did watch some of the stuff, I couldn't even watch it because it was so boring. The content was so boring and so idiotic. Like the stuff they would harp on when they did harp on.
It's not really fascinating.
No, like they went in. Okay, the only reason I saw this was because I think it's DNV Investigators. She did a really good live last night. I think it was like right before you were live. But oh my god.
I know. I watched some of it and then I went live, so I didn't get to finish it, and I still haven't gone back to it to finish it.
She is hilarious, and the last half of her live, she's like, she brings the suspense, and she's like, and this is where legally Leslie really messed up, right? So everyone's waiting on pins and needles to think what I did to mess up. And it was total sarcasm, because she goes, oh my God, they went into this whole thing about how when they open up this email thing that on the bottom, it says her husband's email to sign into. Like, yeah, so what? And she goes, I'm sorry. She goes, they're married. They probably share a computer. She's like, paralegals and is his legal assistant. She probably reads his emails. She's privy to all of that. Like, what is the big deal?
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, I could, like, the stuff that you're doing, I could be doing for your husband. Like, anybody could be doing it. It's a law, like a law clerk. You're not. And
they go in, Lisa, for like 20 minutes, Tug and Megan go into, and you're not gonna believe. And I'm like, oh my God, this is pathetic.
I know.
This is pathetic.
The dramatic.
Yes. Yeah. And then she was also funny. She recorded all the times that he accused me of,
sorry.
You saw that.
That's the new one. I just saw that one.
That was the new one. Yeah, that was, well, because I heard.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, I didn't watch, I guess, Jeremy's live last night, but I heard they made a mockery.
Sorry, this is funny.
Did you see it?
Oh yeah, that I saw. See, I do end up watching Jeremy's lives, you know?
Yeah.
I try not to watch the ones during the week because, and if it's storage stuff, great. And I know he throws little bits and pieces in there.
Yeah.
But, and usually, like, if there's something, that needs to be known, I'll get the link about it. But I try not, if he's doing the storage units, I really don't care to watch because I've had enough of Jeremy Hales.
Finding trash and treasures and trash.
Yeah. Anyway, if I want to watch a storage unit, I'm not going to watch Jeremy. I mean, I've had, that's just, So, Game Shoot, thank you so much. Thank you. And I think I missed. Hold on 1 second. My mouse is gone. Bonita, thank you. Bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do unless it comes for you? Bad boys. Sorry. I think she did it on purpose for me to sing it. I don't know. This is epic. Thank you so much, Kim. But yeah, but I know I get it. I get not watching because it's too much. I've had to watch too many of them. It's
so stupid and so like they have no clue what they're talking about. That it's like garbage TV, and I'm like, I'm not gonna. This is not even worth my time listening to. You know, so I just stopped listening because I'm like, I'm not even. There's no sense in it because what they're talking about is idiotic. It's so idiotic that anybody in the legal profession would go, what?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with what she's doing. You guys are like, just trying to make content.
I know. They're like, it's like, he does something, and then when people comment or respond or react, it's like if it's in a bad way or against him, he loses his shit. Now, what I could tell you is this is great. Because the Hoduns are really annoying the hell out of him, and he's admitted to being a Hodunk, and he's got Hodunks to the left of him and to the right of him.
He's not,
and he's right. So I mean, he's welcoming it. Great.
It's his followers that are being Hodunks. He's calming his. In the Hodunk series is this satirical depiction of showing how he's taking advantage of a life group that is too lazy to use their own minds. And they're being spoon-fed from a man who knows his market and knows what he needs to feed them. And so that's the whole satire. So technically, he's not the Hodunk. He is the one preying on the Hodunks.
Now he's got to pretend to be a Hodunk.
But no, that's what the last Hodunk that just came out shows. How he go, because in the satire, you got the whale and you've got Babe, right? We know who those are depicted, right? And so basically, they both get together and they say, "Look, this Legally Leslie started this Hodunk thing, and she's exposing us. And what can we do?" And they concoct, "Well, let's dress over the top like Hodunks because we'll make the Hodunks believe that we are the ones that are being made fun of, not them." Which is not. Again, they're victimizing themselves and claiming they're the Hodunks, but they're not the Hodunks. The Hodunks are the ones that listen and
well, that's what he does, and he turns everything into him being a victim.
But it's not. He's not the Hodunks. The Hodunks are the people that blindly listen to him without question. The simple-minded who are just basically relying on him to educate them without trying to educate themselves in any opposing views or the real facts of what's going on. So, in a lot of the Hodunk episodes, at least in the beginning, it would end going, "Wake up, Hodunks, wake up." Meaning, get a mind of your own, Hodunk. Stop being spoon-fed. Because that's actually a dangerous place. Like I said, I did a Hodunk called Hodunks Throughout Time. You see that one, Lisa? Hodunks Throughout Time?
Yes.
And it takes you through all the way from ancient times till now, all the Hodunks that have basically been responsible for innocent people getting crucified because they just sat back and accepted what was being told to them by their leaders, right?
Right,
you can't
right.
just ever
That's
sit back.
so weird because last night we were talking about and there were comments about this today too, and on the video. We were talking about he was bragging about his college, him getting a master's, right?
Yeah,
and how he did 4 years of college in 2 years and got a master's, and we're like, huh, what? Like how'd that happen? So Robbie was talking about the school because it was a Bible school that did turn into a university, and apparently it's a legit school, so and I'm just like, I don't know nothing about the school, I don't know nothing about the Bible thing, but when you look up what he wrote about his schooling, he got a master's in organizational leadership.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of funny.
Oh,
I'm like,
I didn't know
that's
that.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. I mean, I had that information because that was from his LinkedIn. I don't even think he has it down has it anymore. I don't even know. But that was a while ago. So I totally forgot about that. And it was pointed out to me again. And I looked at it. I'm like, huh. I'm like, that's kind of funny. So somebody else posted today on the video, and they said, well, that is an accredited school. And, they have these other places like, other colleges have organizational leaderships too. And I'm like, that's not the point. The point is what you're going to take as far as your education and how you're using it.
Yes.
This guy was, a preacher in a church and traveled preaching. And, he raised funds, he all kinds of money. Like he brags on his LinkedIn. I looked even further about raising over $3 million.
Wow.
For, and I'm thinking, wow, yeah, he knows how to raise money. He knows how to get money. He knows how to get people to give him money. So it's a matter of, are you going to go on YouTube and grift, or are you going to be, working in a corporation and trying to find ways, or let's say selling your products, advertising your products, promoting your products, things like that, leading a team of, whether it's creators, your people on the technical side, it's all about leadership in different ways. And what you're going to do is you're going to take that, and this is, I'm pretty sure, maybe all these, to me, these followers, they act like cult-like followers, like their minds are closed.
Well, what it is too. It's even like Lisa. It's getting scarier too, because with AI, the whole point is they always teach you. I remember my first year in college, it was such a different experience because in high school I had to just accept what was given to me, right? You get to college and all of a sudden you're taught, well, question this, question that, look at that side. How are you researching? What is your source of research? They start to teach you critical thinking skills. And with AI, because now you don't even have to go to college to acquire critical thinking, because the world is your oyster on the web now. You can go, as long as you know where you're going and whether something's credible, you can basically, research in every direction you want to, right? But the problem is with AI now, people aren't even doing that. They're just, asking AI to basically make their decisions, even in writing and creativity now. So, you've got to
I think AI can be really good for certain things, like just helping with research. But
I love AI.
I'm not going to get any further than that. That part of AI, I think, is cool, but
it's going to make us lazier. And the thing is that our brains grow because we think and we open different neurological pathways and certain synapses, cross-reference. I was a science major when I originally started out. So, you have to exercise your brain. It opens up different neurological pathways and your brain and mind expands. So, if people are getting lazy and they're just letting themselves be spoon-fed, see, it's always questioning. You have to ask why behind everything. Well, why is that? Why is that? Why is that? I read a book a long time ago on the difference between a tiger mom and a Jewish mom, right? The Jewish mom teaches her kids at a young age, you don't accept an answer, you ask why behind everything. If you don't like your grade, you go to your teacher and you debate and ask why.
Right.
You know, in law school, you're taught to debate, and you're on one side of the spectrum, and all of a sudden your professor says, well, I want you to argue on the opposite side. And that would always throw people for a loop, because they were all ready to argue their side, but they weren't ready to argue the opposing side that they didn't believe in. But you've got to. And because what happens, if you look throughout time, when bad things have happened in society, it's because people sat back silent. People sat back silent because they have been spoon-fed and they trusted leadership. And look, leaders are flawed men, flawed humans. Don't think they're perfect. You question everything. Even if someone's in a position of authority, you got to question, because they can take that authority and abuse it. So, you know what I'm saying? So
we've seen a lot of that.
Yeah. Like if you look all the way back to ancient days and you go all the way through, because it's like, I don't want to talk religion. I'm not here to talk religion. This is more like ancient philosophy. I just saw this movie the other night. It was, and this isn't a religious talk. It was just a movie. It's called Son of God. And they had the Romans, and then they had the rabbis that were the Jews that were, basically they were inflicting, Jewish law at the time over the Jewish followers. Then you had the Romans, and then you had all of a sudden Jesus comes out with his ministry, right? So then Jesus became a threat to the rabbis in the Jewish ministry, and he also became a threat to the Romans. And so when he was carrying the cross, about to be crucified, you see all these people just standing there allowing it to happen. And I remember my husband said, because they had one of the disciples, and Jesus is like, you're going to deny me 3 times. And my husband's like, well, I can understand why he denied him, because if he didn't, then he couldn't have written his gospel. And I said, no, Michael, no. I was like, you have to stand up for what is right. And I go, these people just sat back and they allowed this to happen. I mean, think about what could have happened if people actually did use their own minds, questioned everything, and saw that somebody innocent, and this goes throughout time. This goes with Martin Luther King. This goes with the Holocaust. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you cannot just sit back and accept what somebody's telling you. You've got to question it, Yeah. That's the premise behind the Hodunks, just so you guys know. It shows you how somebody can be in a position of authority and manipulate simple-minded people that are too lazy to think for themselves. That is the biggest message behind
and someone who went to college and has a master's in organizational leadership. Yes,
because he knows.
That's what blows my mind. Yeah.
He knows how to manipulate masses. Yeah.
Because he talks all the time about, he went to school, he's got marketing and this, and, but when I literally went back and looked at that and I saw organizational leadership, I'm like, that's funny.
Well, and think too, that's also
funny.
From he studied from a biblical stance. And if you go back in time, we didn't have democratic governments back in, say, the ancient Roman times. The religion was the government. Okay. It was creating, they had their own laws. That's why the rabbis had, Jewish law for the Jews. So that was the government back then. Now we've evolved. We have separation of church and state now, but technically, if you look back, it's still founded on a lot of the principles that did intercross and wean. And this is actually something that is law based. You know what I'm saying? But you do have that crossover. But,
I'm sorry, I'm still cracking up at the fact that if you go to any of their names, that this pops up. That is great.
You know what?
And let's point out once again, because Tug and his fascinating outlook on things, it's the bully. The bully is bullying the bully. I'm like, no. The title, the entire title says bully exterminators. It means you're exterminating the bullies. You're getting rid of the bullies.
Go to the homepage. Go to the homepage and look what the slogan is. Okay. So everybody understands what bully exterminators is. It says all that bully exterminators is, and you can scroll down to see the bullies that I've caught. When they have wrongfully just targeted somebody and said hateful words, they want to hide behind the internet. They want to hide behind their private group. They want to hide behind their comments on social media. Bully exterminators. This was my solution to stopping bullying. What I did was I simply took their own words and I published it next to their picture, and I SEO.
That's the funniest part. All of this is their own words.
Go down, because if you scroll down, you'll see even Anaya Waterman, because I know Tug made this big ordeal, like I'm the bully because I posted this. This is Anaya Waterman's own words. All I did was see that in the quote. That's her own words.
Yeah.
All that is her picture with her own words. And then the same with this other guy and the same with that other girl. Okay, these are bullies that just out of the blue decided to attack someone spontaneously with hateful words. Well, guess what? If they want to do that, then they believe in their words, then they need to own those words. And that's why I have bully exterminators, because I SEO tagged their name throughout the internet. And I let everybody know what their words were. And so, that's not bullying. I'm just trying to stop bullying, because I think if people, the reason we have such an influx in bullying these days is it's so easy for somebody just to go on the internet and say hateful things and then delete it or use a fake name or whatever they want to do, but look, notice we have to have an affidavit too. So, we're not just going to take people's words for, this person. Yeah. So
that's cool. I mean, I think this is great, that you're trying to stop the online bullying. And as far as using their own words and stuff, I mean, all the evidence I have, like most of the evidence I have, it's all Jeremy's words. It's all Jeremy's videos.
Yeah.
It's everything he said.
Yeah.
That's why I had to watch all that shit. And I'm just like amazed. So, I mean, to me, he's like king bully, honestly.
He muddies the water, and he doesn't want to give anybody a timeline. What he does is he's the one that punched first. And when someone punches back, he puts his hands up and goes, "Oh my God, I'm a victim." Right. But
yes, that's exactly. That's like the simplest way to say it.
The simplest way. It's like a kid. It's like a kid that's an instigator. You're sitting with a bunch of kids, and one kid turns around and decides to pinch a kid, and then the kid yells at them, stands up and hits the other kid, and then the kid sits there crying, going, "He hit me." He's the one who the kid that pinched the kid first was the one who instigated it. That's what this man is doing. He's instigating havoc with people. And then when people react, he surrenders his hands in the air. He doesn't even surrender. He actually goes to the extent of justifying his attack back. And he keeps this ongoing throwing punches back and forth. And then the whole time he's getting content and he's making money from it. So it's like he's setting off bombs everywhere in voluminous different locations of the country. And then he's sitting back and going, "Oh my God, look at me. Look what they're doing to me." And that's the whole thing, is that
he films it.
And he
instigates, and then he turns his camera on.
Then he says, it was funny because I saw this post that he did about me. This is before I just decided to disconnect myself with everything. Because when I saw this, I was like, I've heard it all. He said something to the extent of that I'm jealous of his money and I'm just looking for money. Okay. I'm like, excuse me. Well, one,
he has no idea anything about you. Go ahead.
No, I'm like, I don't make my living from YouTube. I haven't made a penny from YouTube. I'm not monetized. I'm not even eligible to be monetized. I don't get super chats. I don't get donations. I don't get anything. I didn't even know who Jeremy Hales was until like about 2 months ago when I was asked to do an interview. That was it. I am not jealous of Jeremy Hales. I'm not jealous of his money. I'm not an obsessed fan. I'm not any of those. And he chose to attack me. So what is his deal? But he's now telling the world that I'm somehow trying to make money from. I'm not making any money from this. Do you understand? Like, Lisa, but see,
he's got to. No, he's got to, because that's how he's making money, by mocking you. Like, I mean, last night, honestly, this whole show was pretty much mocking you. But George seems to have like an obsession with you too. I mean, she was lifting it all over the place, and I mean, they got products now, Leslie. You've been turned into a product.
I'm a product now.
You're a product now.
I love the fact that, first of all, they make me with these ginormous lips. And listen, it doesn't affect me because I don't have lips that look like that. Okay, I just don't. I mean, maybe some pictures because I have red lips.
That's the great part.
No,
that's
I don't.
The great part about it.
Here's the thing: if like they were making fun of me, and I actually did have these I don't have these ginormous lips. At times I wear red lipstick, so maybe it makes my lips stand out more. But I know I don't have these ginormous lips. And sometimes when I film, because of like some of the, like when I've done TikToks or things like that, sometimes the filter makes your lips look bigger. But I'm not asking for my lip. Like sometimes it just naturally does it depending on the filter that you use. But I don't have these ginormous lips. So I'm just kind of sitting back laughing about it. Because I'm like, okay, well, big deal. You want to, I'm not walking through life, but see, what's sad though, is when they do take like a physical attribute on somebody that legitimately is there and that person is insecure over it. And then they want to extort that, exploit that to the world. That is sad because that person already has an insecurity. I don't have an insecurity on my lips. So that when they make fun of me, that's why I went ahead and just owned the name Hot Lips. Because I'm like, well, whatever. I don't really care. I know I don't have lips that look like fish. Like, whatever, dude. Whatever you want to say. Okay. You know what I mean? But like,
he's just jealous. I was pointing that out last night too. I'm like, it's all about why he wants those lips. Most men.
Well, I always thought men liked
that's the first thing Jay did.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Like, she's got a happy husband, I guess. I don't know.
Well, no, it's like, and listen, and I told you this before the show. I said in all the Hodunks that I did, all the Hodunks, I really didn't do a whole lot with George. I didn't really find her anybody of substance that I could really make a character out of. She was kind of just there. She was kind of like a tag-along puppet. She was like a tag-along puppet. She was just there. I never found her.
Honestly, that's kind of, with all of his shenanigans over the years that he's done, that's kind of what it is. You know what I mean? I mean, but
yeah,
with his aunt, she kind of sat back and would just laugh about it with him. Like
a no mind. Like
these days, it's like she's the one. He's like the one sitting back, and she's the one mocking, and that's kind of what she did last night too. And I even pointed it out because there was one part where she was talking and the look, she was mocking really hard on you, and the smile and the laughter. I literally saw that so much in last night's video, and I was like, wow, man. I'm like, she's enjoying this. And how can you actually be I don't understand how they think that it's okay to be like that about this person or that person, but they're perfect to everybody else. They're Christians throughout. I'm saying, how can you be so evil and hateful and mock people like that, in that laughter, in that fun? It's okay to laugh. I'm sitting here laughing at the fact that when you type in these people's names, that comes up, right? I'm thinking, I think that was classic. I do. That's great. They want to talk shit, then whatever. So
I see, now that I own that domain, I can direct it anywhere I want to, and it comes.
That's
up.
Hilarious.
And the thing is, I've SEO tagged, and I haven't even begun my SEO campaign, which I'm going to do. That's on my list to do, which is basically where any picture that I put their name. So when you Google search their names, this stuff is going to come up everywhere. But, because they want to be the king of YouTube. Well, there's a whole internet out there that I know how to use for marketing. I did my whole life. So, you might be confined to, regulating your YouTube, but you certainly can't regulate a domain that I own and you don't have trademarked. So, I'm allowed to do it.
Right.
So, and I'm going to do it. But just because they have put me in a position, they've put me in a position where they have, attempted to spread a false narrative everywhere. And they basically tried ruining your reputation and have, to a certain extent. And so if that's the way to get, it's a way to direct their audience.
The truth.
To another perspective, to be honest with you, because their audience are going to be the ones that are Google searching them. So when they Google search them, they're going to come and stumble across the Hodunks, and they're going to go, oh, wow, what's this? And they're going to watch it, and they're going to be like, what? And they're going to start to question what is being told to them, why it's being told to them, in obviously a satirical, humorous manner. But with George, I mean, like I said, she's somebody that really is so insignificant in my life. I don't look at her, and she's not a memorable person. Let's put it that way. I've encountered people that you just know are born stars. They're memorable, right? They can be, and it doesn't have to be that they have to be really good looking.
Is that why she keeps screaming out, "Who's George?" She's trying to be relevant.
Yeah, she's so irrelevant.
She's so upset that somebody didn't know who she was.
Yeah,
that to me is ridiculous.
She's not anybody that you would ever encounter in life and remember. Let's put it like that. She's like, I have encountered people with charismatic personalities. It has nothing to do with the way that they look appearance wise. They just have a great a very magnetic personality. You remember that.
Even if it's not good, they still have a personality that you remember. Like they only remember her because of him.
Exactly. She's a puppet. She's like his little
Yeah.
tag along. But
Yeah.
she's nothing. She
But
doesn't
what's
look.
funny is if she left, it would ruin his show. It's really weird.
Well, I think what has happened is, well, I know that she lies to people about her age, which I found to be odd because when I pulled her background, she's actually younger than me, but she's telling the audience that she's like in her 50s, right? That's what she like when she celebrated a birthday this year. I think she said she was turning like 52 or 50, someplace in the 50s. She was claiming she was turning. And my husband and I were like, well, she's not that. That's not her age. We know that she was born, I think it was like 1982 when we pulled the records. And I'm 77. So I'm like, no, or maybe 1980. It was one or the other. But anyway, I'm like, why is she lying about her age? Well, then we pulled like when I started to look at my demographics of who's following me, I realized that I had an older demographic. Then I realized, oh, that's why she's doing it, because she has an older demographic and she wants her audience to relate to her. So she's going to up her age so that, you know what I'm saying? That maybe
she didn't used to lie about her age. Like last year, she was turning 40 something. I don't know.
I don't know
she
why
didn't. I don't know what the point is why she did that this year. But yeah, no. I mean, if anybody knows, they all knew she wasn't
that age, right?
Yeah.
It just didn't make any sense. But no, she's just not anybody that I would like encounter.
Or I got grandma. I think it was sarcastic humor. I think that's. I don't know why that's funny, but okay. Just when she did it, I'm like, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand the point of saying she was,
that age. Like, 50. For what reason? Like, why? I mean, and it's not even like, I mean, so what? Okay, so what? You're in your 40s versus your 50s. Big flippin' do. You know what I mean?
She does that for compliments. Yeah.
Well, I know she's used it to go, oh, my aching bones. I think I did see something like that where she was complaining about aches and pains. It's like, oh, come on. No, but she's just not.
She lifts boxes and walks around. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but
she tries to say, tries to make it look worse than what it is, or talk worse than what it is. Because when she's doing other things, she's not paying attention, and people are seeing her doing these things.
Exactly.
Yeah. But she goes off on someone else because their adrenaline's kicking and they're able to move a plastic rack. And,
No, but like
if you know what I'm talking about, then you know. But go ahead.
but no, it's like Jeremy, like I can do, like, as somebody that's a creator of satire, right? That I'm making these Hodunks. I can do a lot with Jeremy's expressions because he does have these very like expressive, almost funny expressions that you can like make. He is memorable for those expressions. Okay.
Yeah.
She is not.
That's how he's gotten this far.
That's what I mean. He's memorable for his expressions. If as a creator of content, trying to do, like, I'm trying to create this Hodunk series, he's a great character, to base a satire on, make a character called the whale off of, because he's very animated, and he's got very unique facial expressions.
Believe it or not, that's why a lot of people do like him. That's how he got a lot of people to watch him in the first place.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I can see.
I think that's how he got George. Like, she's constantly laughing at his stupidity all the time.
Well, it's
I'm not sure if people realize that, but
it is stupid and it's comical because in his eyes and his expression and how he opens his mouth, it's funny. It looks funny. But like with her, she's nobody that I could ever really do a character off of because she's just blah. But being that I guess I heard, that she made this huge mockery of me, I did allow my creative mind to expand into a narrative now that I have created where she is threatened by me, because why is she attacking me? She doesn't know me. Why attack me? Right. So I created this narrative. I'm not saying I believe it or I don't believe it or whatever. It's a narrative that I can run with because I look at her as kind of like this no mind. She actually is a Hodunk in a different way. If you think about it. She is. Jeremy's the mastermind to control the Hodunks. She is a Hodunk.
Well, he's controlling her. So.
Yeah, I say that she's his servant babe. She's his main servant, and he calls her babe. Right, that's in the Hodunk series. So she is like the no mind puppet. That's really a blah type of person that, to me is just so irrelevant. But I have been able to create some funny content in the latest Hodunk that I did, just based on what she did to me, I guess, and what was told to me she did to make a mockery of me.
Right. So she's following what everybody else is doing as what. So she's like the king follower, queen follower. She's like You know, and usually like if you any old movie that you used to watch or gosh, there was one I just had in my head and I can't even think of it. But like when they go back to, oh my gosh, even Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah.
When if people watch Game of Thrones and you see someone that's like in charge and then they got their woman, their right hand person, or you know even their male, their mate, right?
Yeah.
And that mate seems to become the one who looks like they're in charge because they know their master's plan, you know. So the mate becomes the ringleader, you know what I mean, to a certain extent. And now that's, to me, that's what you're seeing in George.
Yeah,
you know?
well, she's
like
got to
she's become, and she's become, you know, the one who's doing the mocking and stuff now while he's the one sitting back.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
but with her, when she says those lies, it's like you see them. Like Jeremy lies so much that you just know he's lying.
Yeah.
With her, when she says these things, you know when she's lying. Like you can literally see it, you know?
Yeah.
And even though I thought she was a better actor than him, because he's silly about it. Like his laughter when he does the fake laugh. There's so many things, you know.
You know what I noticed with her. You know what I noticed with her, and to me, this is just adding into the manipulation. You know, as they engage in all these, you know, questionable moral, you know, actions and verbiage that they want to spew all over the place, she wears a shirt that says Jesus on it. Okay. And I'm like, you know, what are you trying to do? You know what I mean? It's like, she wears it while, you know, they want to ask for donations. And it's like, I do have that threaded throughout the Hodunk. I did do a commercial where she has a shirt that says Jesus said, donate to those who can help themselves. Right. I mean, it's like a rule of thumb. You donate and you help those who cannot help themselves. When they can help themselves, you're actually impeding on their development and growth as a human being by making it easy or not letting them live in their consequences to evolve. But either way, she's wearing these shirts almost to like gain trust to the people that she's straight up soliciting for money, you know, for her and Jeremy to cover their legal fees when they chose to initiate all of this. So
that's what cracks me up the most is like he did this. He filed this lawsuit and he's making everybody else pay for it. And then he's making his viewers pay his legal fees. He's making, you know, this is just crazy. It's insane. He started all this shit.
It shows you the stupidity of the Hodunks. How in the world could
Argonne grandma
could a human being sit there and not see that this man initiated the actions? No, you don't have to sue all the time. Okay. You don't have to sue all the time. In my case, I do, because I gave these people tons of chances to stop doing what they're doing, but they have actually wrecked.
You did. You've asked them to stop. You literally asked them to stop.
He never even asked you guys to stop. He just slapped you with a lawsuit. Didn't even give you notice to you know, change whatever it was that he didn't see as, you know, deemed fit or whatever he wanted to say. But he just slaps you with a lawsuit and then starts broadcasting it all over his YouTube channel. Then he then he brags about how people are just after him for his money. So he's clearly not poor. Okay. He chose the attorney. He had to sign a retainer with his attorney. He knew what his attorney fees were going to be in the hourly rate. So then he goes to his audience playing victim and asking for donations. I mean, come on. Any person that is going to fall trap to that tomorrow, as far as I'm concerned, this is my opinion, is a Hodunk, because there is no person with half a brain. No, there's no person with half a brain that would not see what he's doing. And that's where, you know, you got it. Like I put things into perspective and I stopped letting all these people bother me, because I know that he is paying in a roundabout way, a weird way through views. He is paying Megan Fox, Tug, J Hip, you know, getting them, you know, more view counts, which translates to more advertising dollars. You know, he's paying them. Of course, they're going to do a campaign in his favor. He sought them out to do that. So, you know, people that don't see what's going on or don't question why this is going on. To me, it's like, you don't want them. You don't want to be around people like that, because they actually, to me, are dangerous because they don't think for themselves. They're basically whoever's they deem to be a leader is thinking on their behalf, and they're just going to be their little soldier with no thoughts behind anything. Those are dangerous.
Well, I'm glad
people.
you're explaining the Hodunks, because I know a lot of people thought like you were in a sense like making fun of like Southern people.
No,
no,
no, because if you look at one of the videos, I said Hodunks. Here's the Hodunks throughout time, and but it just what it is I had to create an image. So I use the overalls, because if you go throughout time, I have overalls back in ancient times, overalls in the German Hitler era, overalls.
You got it, Lori. I agreed with them. It did look weird. Oh, God, sorry.
No,
okay. I was just talking to Lori.
No, but it's not the Southerners. You got Hodunks everywhere. Hodunks, we basically have branded Hodunks as people that cannot think for themselves. They're basically they're bred to be spoon fed. Okay. Yeah. They don't want to question. They just accept. And you can't do that, because what happens is you get injustice. It's human nature that nobody in this world is perfect. You're going to have injustice. It's here now, and it's going to be here in the future. And there's always going to be corruption, and you have to be smart enough to question everything. I've seen people get, working within the legal system, guys. I have seen people get set up. We're a part of a Quaitam lawsuit with the United States of America right now against DCF for corruption and stealing kids in Pasco and Pinellas County. And they did it because the governor appointed the sheriff in Pinellas County and appointed the judge in Pasco County. And they were removing kids after Florida lost its waiver for money and exchanging them for adoption for $10,000, $15,000. The United States of America has had an over a year investigation going on for the corruption, and it took me getting involved into this questioning. And because of the questioning, I was able to research and get to the bottom of this. And this is a big, big, big deal right now that's with the United States of America. Okay. So I didn't even tell you about that, Lisa, but you can't, there is corruption in our court systems. There's corruption everywhere. And so you cannot sit back and just take what you see. I can't tell you how many times, even with people with criminal backgrounds, that, do you guys know what prosecutorial discretion is, Lisa? Do you know have you heard that term? We learned about that in law school. Every state prosecutor, because people can get arrested, then they go under investigation, then it's assigned to a prosecutor. The prosecutor has a choice who they want to prosecute, which means every day, hundreds and thousands of people that have committed crimes are let off the hook because the prosecutor chose not to prosecute them. Then you've got other life groups that have been targeted to be prosecuted. Then there's phone calls made, drop it. Somebody knows the prosecutor, drop this against the person. Criminal convictions. When I hear that people have been criminally convicted, I take that with a grain of salt, because there's tons of people living amongst me that have committed crimes that it's been dropped because the prosecutor didn't want to prosecute them. So
or there's not enough evidence. It's like they want the easy cases, and they want the case that are going to give them their points.
Or money.
Like my husband, for instance, got stuck in a grand theft charge for a civil case.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like they thought that was an easy way. And even when he decided, fine, I'm not going to just, fight with him about how much money it is. I'll just give it all back to him. I don't care. I'm not going to be coming back here every month, know? And when he when he said that to the attorney, they're like, no, don't do that. And he's like, why? And it's because they wanted their points on either side, whatever it is that they got, whatever kind of game they have going on between the prosecutor and the defender, and this is not hired attorneys at all. This is like the
public defenders.
These are public defenders. So which was ironic that he ended up getting one in the first place, but their team, it's like they work together. They absolutely work together. And then you have prosecutors, and this is not everyone, I'm just saying, but then you have prosecutors that clearly have cases right in front of them that it's like, well, this guy is so bad, I don't want to get him on a driving on the wrong side of a road thing, because he's just going to walk away from it. I don't want to get him on this simple thing because he's just going to walk away from it. I need to get him on something big. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's how like people get away with a lot of little things
like
that they're
little
doing.
things. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the thing is too, you got to remember too, and this is actually really sad. Those with a lot of money out there, they can hire a private attorney in a criminal defense case. And you got to remember the state public defenders that are, there just because everybody's entitled to an attorney when you're in criminal court. They have a high volume of cases. They're not going to be fighting for you like a private attorney is going to fight for you.
Right.
So a lot of the people that have a lot of money have committed a lot of crimes, but they've gotten off the hook. Where you have other, and this is what always got me too. You have these statistics that go to the government that say, oh, this life group has the highest amount of crimes. Well, how can you base statistics on the highest amount of crimes in a certain ethnicity when you've got the prosecutor who has discretion on whether or not they want to prosecute certain life groups? I mean, again, there it's such a screwed up, convoluted, system that you've got to question everything. Because you cannot just sit there and hoot and holler and go, oh, this person, this, and, this person, that. Like, I've never in my life committed a crime. I've never been arrested, but I don't judge those who have, because I know how convoluted and how political the system is. I've seen it firsthand. I've seen people get just the crap into the stick because either they didn't have money, or they weren't the right gender, or they weren't the right ethnicity, or they didn't know the right people. I mean, you cannot pass judgment on a conviction all the time because you don't know what happened along the way. And what happened along the way is why that person is sitting there with a conviction.
Right. Wow. It's crazy.
And that's what I'm going. Well, I was going to say, I'm going to Washington, D.C. I was invited to receive an award with the Whistleblowers Convention. I have to fly out there July 29th and 30th because I was a whistleblower. I was a whistleblower. And so I have seen this stuff unfold. I've seen this in the system. And, those who have the problem is nobody wants to think about it until it happens to you, until you're that person, that's being wrongfully prosecuted. But that's essentially what Jeremy Hales is doing. He's got a group of hodunks that don't question anything, that really don't know our system. And then he's got spokespeople, paid, hired PR team that don't know anything about the law. Megan never went to law school. She never prosecuted or, defended a case. You've got Tug, who knows nothing about the law. You've got Jay Hip, who knows nothing about the law. And they're all sitting there reporting on the law when they have absolutely no experience with the law. And that's who the hodunks are listening to. Right.
You're exactly right. Now, I know that Megan has covered cases before, but to what extent?
That is totally different. She has no. I'll tell you, they got on. They were making comments. Oh, because I'm talking about the law and practicing the unlicensed practice law. No, I'm not. That is totally different. But if I'm not allowed, then what the hell are they doing? Because they're sitting there going through legal filings, depicting language. You got to understand, this is words are very technical in the law. Procedures very.
Oh my God, I know.
Just because they covered a case, they have no experience and they should not be talking to an audience about procedures and legal stuff because they know nothing. And it's apparent with words that's why I can't even listen to them, because it's so idiotic that I just shut it off. I'm like, I can't listen to this garbage. I'm like, and if people are listening to this, oh, God help us all.
They have no content right now, so they're just jumping on whatever, Like, for instance, today I get a screenshot, right? Over the weekend, my gecko passed away, right?
Yeah.
Something was obviously wrong, and we didn't realize it. She kept shedding, so we thought that's why she wasn't eating. But either way, so today, I get this thing in this screenshot. It's a screenshot of a dead lizard.
What?
And they're like, yeah. And they're like, is this your lizard? And I'm like, no. So someone showed a picture of a dead lizard and acted as if it was mine. And then they started. Then somebody else was like saying, "Oh, Lisa's trying to grift off of her lizard, and it didn't work or something." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "These people are out of their freaking minds because I mentioned the fact that my lizard passed away. That like you're turning it into so like it's just weird. They have absolutely no content, and nothing to talk about. So that's what they did. They talked about my dead lizard. I'm like, oh my god, like." Come on now.
But here's the deal. If they actually knew, wow. Well, if they actually knew, like, they could really legally dissect something, if they actually understood and had experience in the law and knew that, if they actually were somebody that was educated, maybe law enforcement even, okay, maybe they're not a lawyer, but law enforcement, something.
Thank you guys.
You know, they could have content, but this is a result of them knowing nothing.
What happened to hold on, Leslie? Hold on a second. What happened to Flutter? I see everybody saying, "What's wrong, Flutter?" What happened? Hold on. I have to stop. Sorry, Leslie. Hold on.
Oh, that's okay.
I miss. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Say your pet mosquitoes just died and see what they say. Yeah. I couldn't believe that. I couldn't. Flutter, email me. What happened? I'm sorry. I just see something's going on with Flutter, and she lost some. I'm not sure what happened, so I don't even want to say. All right, Flutter, email me or message me. Go ahead, Leslie. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say I watched something so heartbreaking today. Bearded Fisherman had directed me to watch an interview of him with Super Dave on Milltown's Best. And, you know, this was done over the last couple of months, right? I didn't know the exact date. But, you know, Bearded Fisherman was a very respectable man who's turned his life around, who, you know, was very, you know, humble and very, you know, you're proud of him. You're proud of where he is in his life, right? That he's conquered issues from the past and that he's living a good life and he's living a right life. And, you know, he's just somebody you would respect on what he's done in his life. And my husband and I were like almost in tears listening to this interview going, wow, you know, what an incredible guy. And, you know, we were just giving him accolades. By the end of this interview, he's talking about being doxxed without using the names. But, you know, the same people that have doxed and abused us online pretty much, you know, through, you know, all this harassment, doing it to him, making fun of him. And I'm going, what? And my husband turns to me and he's like, what is wrong with this guy? Like, not Bearded Fisherman, but we know Hales. What is wrong with this guy? Why in the world has a mob attack been launched onto some man that has done nothing but turn his life around, to be made a mockery of? You know what I'm saying? And it's like that is you know what it is? It's like they have no content because, one, they have no experience and education in the fields that they're trying to report on. That's what I think it is. They don't have experience, so they don't know what issues to hone in. They don't really know how to give a proper legal analysis. They don't have experience, period. So they're pulling at like BS, trivial BS to basically start gossip and start feuds and it's just the epitome of stupidity. It's like, what is wrong with, you're going to attack a man that, you know what I mean? It's like that, but they don't care what it is because they don't have content. So they go for this garbage. And the fact that people are listening to it, it's like, I want to say the Jerry Springer show. You know what I mean? It's like, bringing on and tormenting people, you know, just to make a mockery of them is, to me, the lowest form of any reporting. So they are the Jerry Springer show of the YouTubers, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Mrs. Tom said, is it Megan who has a child with Michael, or am I mixed up? I think you're mixed up.
She used to have a channel. Are you talking about Michael Volpe?
No, a child. Oh,
I think you said a channel.
Wait a minute. Did I read that wrong? This is Megan who had a child, who has a child with Michael Volpe, or am I mixed up? No, Megan does not have a child with Michael Volpe. But she didn't have a I'm not sure if it was I know that they did interviews together. I think it was on her channel. You know, where they did a couple things together.
They used to work together because they used to interview me when I had these two like high profile cases out of Miami. This was back in 2021, 2022. When Megan was on that show, she was very professional. They interviewed me. She had no issues. And I did a couple interviews with them, her and Michael Volpe together. And then Michael, and now it's
Kristen.
like to hear her talk, it's like, what in the world happened to this girl? You know, because you know what I mean? Like she is, I'm just gonna call her, she's the Jerry Springer show of YouTube. She is not a credible reporter anymore. And to a lot of people that used to listen to
some of the stuff I saw, I mean, she seemed like she was, not that I would agree with what she was saying, but she came off like she at least investigated it. You know what I mean? And you know, whether you agreed with her investigation or not, that's one thing. But I mean, now she's just on a narrative. It doesn't matter what the truth is. You know, she's not vetting nothing. She's just going about how she wants to do it, and that's it.
Yeah,
and to me, that's bullshit. And what she did to Mike Volpe is disgusting. Yeah, it's disgusting. Fully like knowing someone lying about him and then like spreading shit, which, you know, he didn't do that to her.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He did not do that to her. And that's how vicious she is, you know? And to me, I tell you, she's like that girl that's in that freaking movie. Peggy Sue Got Married, that little reporter. She wants to be a mean girl, but she can't get there, so she has to talk about everybody else. You know what I mean?
She's like, she comes across to me as like whiny. She's like very whiny.
Yeah.
And like what comes out of her mouth is garbage. And it's like, here's the thing. I mean, who's to say she ever really did investigate? Because maybe we didn't know.
I know. It's just
you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, maybe this is who she was the whole time, and we're seeing it for the first time because we actually know the facts inside and out. And we're the target. So now we realize that she's full of crap, you know? But But I'm just going to say, like, she's very whiny. She's very ignorant. She's very just one
of the shows that I had to watch with her and Tug, she was going over an order, and it had to do with the $4,000 sanctions that Shockett got. Yeah. And she's talking about how she was upset at the fact that, you know, he says that, you know, he put out kind of like the advertisement that, you know, Michelle and John needed lawyers, right? Yeah. So and he was going to post it, you know, within I forget what it was, how they say it, but anyway, she was flipping out, and she goes, "Who's going to pay for this? Where's this money coming from?" And she goes, oh my God, they're going to take it out of the money that Shock is paying. So Jeremy's going to end up paying for their lawyer. Like, the way she went, no, it's like she totally speculated this bullshit, and she's reading some kind of rule, and I'm like, where do you? First of all, you just completely just spun that out of nowhere. And she goes off on these tangents and into this like false reality. It's like, wow, look what she just did with that.
No,
and she gets all pissed off.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God.
Wow. I'll tell you, Lisa, here's something to think about. And I'm just going to bring law school back into this because law school teaches you how to argue and how to investigate, right? In law school, when you really want to argue a point, first of all, the person should come to that conclusion on their own. What you do is you present an issue. It's called IRAC. It's an IRAC method. It's how old lawyers are supposed to be arguing. You have an issue. Right. You have the rule of law that you bring up. You've got the analysis, right, and the conclusion. Well, in the analysis, you take the facts from one side and you analyze that to the rule of law. Then you take the facts of the other side and you analyze that to the rule of law. And you have to do both sides. Okay. You have to do both sides. And then you come to a conclusion statement, hoping that the judge is going to adopt where you concluded. With her, she doesn't even give the other side. And she exaggerates. She goes so far in one direction that she's not someone that you would ever want to rely on to feed you any sort of reporting, because, you know, at least you should go into something and say, okay, here's the issue. Here's what one side is going to argue. Here's what the other side is going to argue. This is what I believe the conclusion should be based on, the argument presented, but she doesn't even give the other side.
Yeah, she doesn't. She just goes with her own narrative, and that's how it is. You went mute, Leslie.
Oh, sorry. I know. Sorry about that. But what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? It's like, beware of never, it's like the stuff that she comes up with is just so, it's just so ignorant. And somebody said to me, oh my God, my husband was dying laughing. When I used to check the Facebook, which I'm not anymore. When I used to check that group, somebody had written this narrative about me. And then they said something to the effect of, there's only one side of an argument. And my husband looks at me, he goes, what? There's only one side of an argument? But this is what this person truly believed. Yeah.
Right. That's crazy. Lisa, tonight her own chat was angry with her as there is no court news from last week and today. Then confused her chat again with 2 court judges. She got confused. It was a shit show.
Who is this?
Megan, I guess.
Oh, really?
Yeah. See, that's just it. Like, she's looking for content because there is really no court things that are happening right now.
No, there's nothing.
I mean, there's been a lot. Like last week, there was a lot posted, but there's not much to talk about it. You know what I mean? I went over it and I go through it kind of fast. I think. Because it is, to me, it is what it is. You read it, it's done, and we can speculate on a lot of it. But I try not to, she speculates, she reads 2 sentences of an order or a motion and she runs off on a tangent. Yeah. And I just I like to read the whole thing and then discuss it. Like when a lot of times, it used to be we would have Bruce come on and he would explain some of the motions because it makes it easier, to understand what's really going on from the lawyer perspective, or why a motion was filed and what could be the outcome or should be the outcome. You know what I mean? Yeah. Becky, thank you so much. Becky sent 5 Tulies in a pod gift membership. Whoop, whoop, thank you. What was my point in mentioning that? Oh, so basically we had a bunch of stuff, go on in the courts, right? But it says, we went over a motion to dismiss. We're waiting on the judge for all the motions to dismiss, right?
And that's now, how it's going to be for a while in a federal case.
Yeah. And now, so we think, okay, great, there's going to be a lot of court stuff coming up. But it's nothing that we haven't expected. We're going to be waiting, really. What's going to be great is judges' responses to these. Yeah. Because, I mean, I have to actually put a response in. So I have a motion that's going to be coming in this week. I know Michelle has to put one in there. John has one lingering around. I'm not sure which case it is. Actually, I think there's a little bit of confusion on my end, at least, because I don't know which one it is. But then we have the other cases that's going on, too. The Levy County case, you got Ohio. So it's okay. The number of cases can get confusing when you're talking about it.
Yeah.
Well, what is going on? So much noise. Oh, never mind. Somebody outside.
I can tell you, Lisa, we have a federal case in the same federal court that you guys' case is in. And the judge usually is not going to make a ruling until everybody has responded, right? All the defendants have been given the opportunity to respond on their motion to dismiss that have been served, right?
Right.
And we're still waiting, and we've waited for a month. The last response to the motion to dismiss was filed about a month ago. We're still waiting. Federal court is like that. You're not going to get a lot of action in the courtroom in federal court because a lot of the litigants are from different states. So a lot of the rulings in federal court are done on paper, okay, unless you ask for an oral argument and it's granted. You're not going to be going into the courtroom, okay, not in federal court. Right. You'll go into a courtroom, when you get around to going to a trial. But then what happens is if the motions to dismiss are not granted, then you're going to go into what's called discovery. That's your next phase.
Yeah.
right? So you're going to sit in discovery for the majority of your case, and discovery is not really. It's that's like you're requesting for these records, you're requesting that record, you're requesting these statements, you're subpoenaing this, right? And so that could take months to go through discovery because they have so many,
especially with all these defendants.
Yeah, you're not getting a lot of action. So what they're like, these are not cases like you're going to go in a trial in a murder case, right? Where you got a jury going on and it's all fast action cases. And so what they're doing is they're making mountains out of molehills. That's the ongoing laugh in my house between my husband and I, my husband being an active attorney, me being a retired attorney, is we laugh at what she's discussing in her lives. These are like standard things that are just normal protocol that are not significant whatsoever, that are just part of a case, normal things that attorneys would do or say or whatever, or file. And she's making it sound like it's like the breaking news of today, right? Do you know what I'm saying?
She thinks this case is national news.
Yeah, I would be embarrassed to go on and be like, "Oh my God, breaking news! I got a 3-day extension to It's like, come on, this is like this is not exciting news, okay?
Right. Tell you that happened today. Is the summons was issued for Ray.
Yeah.
So Ray, he's looking to serve you, like literally looking to serve you right now. So just letting you know.
I feel so bad for him. I have to say, my husband and I we just subscribed to his channel, and we've been watching and listening to him. What a nice man.
Yeah.
He's calm. He's reasonable. My husband says to me, "Don't even tell me that Hales is suing him." And I go, "Yes."
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like, Gabe says the same thing.
Yeah,
because Gabe kind of walks through everything like he doesn't know. Although he doesn't look at any of this paperwork, he doesn't. He's just like minding his own business, walking through and hears and sees and shows up when he needs to or wants to. You know what I mean? Yeah. But Ray was on. He goes, "Don't even tell me." He said the same exact thing. He goes, "Don't tell me that Ray's a defendant in this." I said, "Oh yeah." He goes, "No way." And he's like, and he just gets mad. It makes me angry
because Ray is such a calm, reasonable, person. It's like, poor Ray, and he's older, and it's like this is the last thing he wants to deal with in his life. He's doing just enjoying himself, talking, having company, chit chatting with his subscribers. What in the world is wrong with Jeremy Hales to sue this poor man?
Exactly. Robbie, what's up?
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Robbie.
Hey, Leslie.
I was wondering where you were. I'm like, it's getting late. Where's Robbie?
Dude, I am so beat.
Everybody, we were talking about that. Yeah.
I know you were. What? Yeah. How long was that gig for? How long was your live earlier?
4 hours and 4 hours, 8 hours live. Wow,
that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. I didn't even know you were live for like the first 2 hours. I had no clue. And I was sitting here doing a bunch of work. I would have had you on while I was working. I didn't even know. Because my laptop don't give me notice.
We got called at 11:30. We were on our way to the market. We got the call.
Wow. So, Robbie, I wonder if they're going to try and do the same thing to you that they did with Ray.
What'd they do with Ray?
Well, as far as the court case goes, with how they're trying to serve him, because obviously they're past that 90 days, right? And now they're, they added him, they amended to add his name and stuff like that. But now they're starting to serve him. So I'm wondering if they're going to turn around and do you next, or Dave.
I don't know.
Now all of a sudden the notice went out. Yeah.
Just do it and we'll go from there. Because I'm sick and tired of this bullshit. And hate that piece of shit. And he could die and go to hell for all I give a shit.
Yeah. He just wants to complicate and aggravate people's lives, and harass people,
Yeah.
He's like
that's all he does.
Yeah, that's all he does. He's the spoiled little whiny brat kid that didn't get his way. That's what he reminds me of. This immature little whiny brat, little spoiled kid throwing a temper tantrum.
Yeah.
Well, Mommy didn't give him all the attention because he had siblings and
Yeah.
Oh, poor me.
He's the poor me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure where he was served yet, but they filed the paperwork to serve him as if he was served. They did it the same with me and everybody else that's already been served. So, did you notice yesterday, Jerem said I hadn't met Megan Fox yet, but I might get to see her. But yeah, because she keeps talking about going down to the courts and stuff like that, apparently. But the way nothing has been happening in court, it would be a waste of time, right? Let her waste some money going there.
Maybe just said not served.
Not served. Yep. So, but Leslie, so you had a little bit of what's going on with your case?
Oh, okay. So Shock had accepted service on behalf of Jeremy and Martha.
Right.
George.
Oh, and Martha.
Yeah, he accepted service and the business Elephant Shoes.
Okay.
So they have all accepted service, which means that because I asked, we asked them, would you accept service in lieu of us formally serving process? And he said yes. So we didn't have to get a normal regular process server because you're allowed to accept service if you want to avoid that.
Right.
And so what we ended up doing is I filed a motion to amend and I added back on Tug. Matthew is real name Matthew Lewis, Megan Fox, Jay Hip, and then I added Shizzy Wiznut, who's now making threats, to me online, threatening that how dare I require his legal name? Well, sorry, buddy, you're in a friggin' lawsuit. You're gonna have to give your legal name up. So anyways, I have filed summons for everybody except for Shizzy because I need to get his legal name, which we're in the process of working on getting. So once those summons have been signed by the clerk, which I have to check because I did it last week, so they should be signed by this week. Then I need to we need to send it to the judge, the motion to amend to get the judge to grant it, which the judge should, because I'm not taking advantage trying to amend it so many times. It's just I need permission because I already amended it once to drop them. Now I'm amending it again because they wouldn't stop their actions of defamation. So right now, I was actually going to be working on discovery to hit Hales, Martha, and Elephant Shoes with a bunch of discovery, which I'm allowed to do. Even if they haven't responded at this point, I can still issue discovery requests on them. And then I have to get process servers, which I have all of their addresses now, except for Shizzy. I have Shizzy Wiznut's PO box, but I just need his legal name and his physical address to get him served. And then once that happens, we will go into discovery. They will probably do like what is going on in the reverse context to your case. They will probably all file motions to dismiss. They've already indicated they're going to file counterclaims. I mean, go right ahead. I don't you know what I'm saying? I'm not afraid.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I think he had indicated he'd pulled like private records of mine that were completely irrelevant to the defamation claims I have against him. And he's like, I've got these records and I'm going to be filing counter.
I know, it's hilarious what he's saying. It's like he's jumping into somebody's past, right?
How does anything about have anything to do with a counterclaim for what he would do a counterclaim for? Okay.
Right. It's like, dude, that shit don't freaking matter. You want to pull a character witness in, go right ahead. But the stuff that you're trying to pull in, you know what I mean? Like it's irrelevant to what you're doing.
It's irrelevant. And I was never found. Every allegation, the case was dismissed, and there was no findings. That doesn't indicate that that allegations weren't true or not true. There's no way he can implicate my character on anything that he's deciding to come forth to the court. It has absolutely complete irrelevance. I'd move to strike it immediately. The judge could not. I can't even imagine a judge would find that relevant. So, anyways, so then my game plan is once everybody gets served, I'm going to set their depositions, which they're going to have to go into an oath. I'm going to request, we're not going to allow Hales to do what he did to Bruce during that deposition where he was so rude. We're going to make certain requests for deposition, even if the judge is there, because we're not going to let Hales get away with what he tried to get away with before. And we're ready to go. And we're going to try to get him on a summary judgment because we have enough evidence. It's clear cut. We've got multiple recordings, with defamatory statements. We've got not only audios, we've got written, we've got a ton of evidence right now. That is enough. That if we were to be questioned about it, he's going to have to answer it. Okay. He's going to have to answer it. And if he lies about it, we're just going to subpoena the records. It's as simple as that.
Right.
So, you know, and if he lies in his deposition and we subpoena the records and it does connect him, he's now on for perjury charges. So, you know, that's,
oh man, he's got perjury charges over here.
Well, I'll tell you, you know, so like I said, we're not backing down. We're going to go for it. And so we're in the initial, you know, stages of everything, but we're not about to back down. But I'm certainly not going to let him and, you know, his little, you know, paid PR team to sit there and try to intimidate me, because that's what they've attempted to do, is try to intimidate.
Yeah, since day one.
Yeah, they're threatening me and trying to, you know, bring up personal things from my past, and you know, it's all done as an attempt to intimidate me from suing, because there's no relevancy.
Look, even with his post that he put on the community page, right? If you turn around and you like put that into any type of like, let's just say a generator, right? It pops out that is a threatening and intimidating post.
Absolutely.
I've done it on several of his. I'm like, look at this shit. I'm like, it's actually, so it's not like, you know, a person with common sense can't figure it out. But like, even for someone who don't, when you run it through a generator, it's telling you that this is an intimidating and threatening post.
You want to hear
these are threatening words.
Recently, my husband and I we couldn't believe it. We were scrolling through YouTube. We didn't watch it. We just saw or we watched maybe the beginning just to see what he was going to say. He has a thumbnail right now, and it has Bruce's picture, you know, his caricature of Bruce, and it says was arrested for a crime. We know Bruce wasn't arrested for a crime. That is complete defamation per se. He's accusing somebody with an image that, you know, everybody has learned that's going to be Deuce Bruce, and he's stating that he's committed a crime. That is defamation per se, right there.
Oh, he's done that with me.
He's done it with everybody.
He's done that. Yeah. And it's like, this guy doesn't understand the meaning of defame. You know, he literally defames people all the time.
Yes.
Constantly thinking it's okay to lie about them and twist, and he thinks he's not going to get in trouble for it because he's using these fake names for him. You know, like Fleesa or Walrus or Dodgy Robbie, or you know, Dodgy Robbie's not too far.
Yeah, that's implied defamation. You don't have to use somebody's name; you can imply it. You know, like you said, there was a Tug did a live stream in which they used my photograph. They tried to redact it. They tried to say it was a parody. Oh, give me a break. That's not a parody. A parody isn't on a live broadcast where you're claiming to be reporting on facts and mixing in lies, and you're going to cover yourself with a disclaimer on parody.
Yeah, first of all, his lives aren't parody. Like, that's
not parody. It doesn't matter if you put a disclaimer that you're saying it. That doesn't protect you when you're doing a realistic live. If you want to know what a parody is, go look at Hodunk Hillbillies. That's a parody. It's clear that's a parody. That their live broadcast is not. Yeah.
What?
Well, you missed it. So if you go to Shizzy Wiznut, or
I've never gone to it.
No, I know. I'm just saying, if you go to, I was sent this thing and it said Shizzy Wiznut on it, and I clicked on it and it went right to Leslie's page. So I was asking her about it earlier, and now it goes to the Hodunks. So if you go to shizzywiznut.com, it goes to the Hodunk Hillbillies. So actually it goes to Billy Exterminators, but that's where the Hodunks are. And if you go to meganfoxwriter.com, it does the same thing. If you go to J Hip, what's his name? J Hip what?
Just J Hip.
Oh, just J Hip. To see, I don't even know. JustJHip.com, it goes to it. And if you go to Jeremy B. Hales, it goes to it too. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, I bought that
is classic, because they're doing all this talking and so much bullshit. And now, if you look them up and you go to any of their names on, you know, the internet for our website, that's where it's going, right? To Bully Exterminator.
Yeah, I bought
freaking fabulous.
Yeah, the only domain I couldn't buy was that umbrella guy, because he did trademark.
Oh, he's trademarked, yeah.
Yeah, but everybody else didn't trademark, so I was able to I could go in there and I could purchase their websites.
You didn't even have to guess about him, because he tried to trademark somebody else's name once before.
Yeah. So, but none of them were.
So you had to know he did his own.
Yeah. So none of those websites are trademarked. And so I went in and I purchased them because they've been the ones that have been spreading all these lies about me. And I'm like, you know what I mean? Because I know that their audience is probably going to Google search their names and let it go to Hodunks. Let their audience do a different rendition of what's going on.
Yeah. It's pretty funny, Robbie. I thought it was hilarious.
That is funny. Leslie, would you just hurry up and take him to court and just...
Oh, I am. Trust me. I've already got, his attorney's accepted service. I just am waiting to get everybody else served, but I'm going to be going.
She'll probably get him in discovery before there's any over here.
Yeah. Federal court, is not as active. Let's just put it that way. State court is a lot more active. You get a lot more in court action. People are showing up in court and state court more so than in federal court. And so I'm going to be going for summary judgments as soon as I get everybody served. I get everybody's depositions taken. Because I already have a file with all of the defamatory comments, both written, tangible and intangible evidence. I could easily get affidavits, on top of it, and I can go in and take their deposition and get summary judgments against all of them. And then what I'm going to do,
Taco, last thing on my mind.
The what?
He's talking to the chat.
Oh, okay. And then now I was provided information that I think, that umbrella guy has done filed for bankruptcy for a substantial amount of money, but you
twice.
I mean, here's the thing: even if they file for bankruptcy,
he's talking about everybody else's funds and money and stuff, and he's literally
put 2 times for bankruptcy and for a lot of money.
Yeah,
and,
I know one was over $220,000.
Well, I can tell you, a judgment stands on for 20 years. So for 20 years, if I get a judgment against them, I can try to collect over 20 years. And I'm also going to ask for injunctive relief that I'm going to ask for them to do a redaction and do a public announcement for their lies against me to their audience that, because they reached masses of people with these lies. And so, I'm going for every piece of relief.
Okay, Starbucks.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying I'm not playing around. I gave them a chance. I was very fair and reasonable with them. I tried to give them a chance to stop their behaviors and to just leave me alone. They wouldn't do it. Stop making these claims about my professional license. Stop making these claims about, claiming that I did this creation of whatever it's called. I'm not going to say it on your show. When we have a recording where he implies that I created it, he talks about me. In DNV investigator in her live, she brings up, everybody should watch that live. It's hilarious because she shows him saying it. And then he says a following live after that, oh, I never said that. It shows that he said it the day before.
Oh yeah. He denies everything all the time.
Yeah, but we have
I've debunked him.
Yeah, we have everything. And so it's going to be real hard to wiggle out of that. If hopefully they get a decent attorney with half a brain to tell them, look, you guys are kind of in over your head. You guys really did screw up. The best thing you can
obviously Shockett's not that guy.
No, but I mean,
Shockett only cares about getting paid.
Well, exactly. But yeah, their attorneys will just take him through the ringer. But but it doesn't matter. I don't know what counterclaim they're going to say they want to try to say on me, but I can tell you right now, bringing up my past history and stuff, that's not a claim. They don't have standing. So what claim to have I done? You know what I mean? So
yeah, we've got Jeremy saying Sunday night he was talking things and took it back within seconds. Oh my gosh, I have him. I debunked him so many times, and I still have more that haven't been shown that I have to put it together the right way because fair use and all. Yeah. Boudica said hello, Boudica, by the way. Is he also being sued by subcontractors related to a landscaping business he owns or owned? Who? I'm guessing you're saying Jeremy. I didn't know he owned a landscaping company.
Yeah, I know he owns a rental home company. Because there's lawsuits with that.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Shockett wants to make sure he'll have money to put on his books. Well, here's the funny thing. The one thing I know Jeremy's going to hide is his financials. First of all, I know that they're going to be fake. And he's definitely going to try and hide that, especially his YouTube. But does he realize that you can subpoena his records for YouTube?
You can subpoena them. They're absolutely relevant. Especially because I'm claiming too, that he is making money, because I have video shots where they're getting donations and super chats as they're sitting there laughing and defaming me and getting money sent to them on these false.
Oh, not only that, you have Jay Hip sending him money to defaming you.
Yeah.
So which is one of his,
well, part of my conspiracy is that he's worked out an agreement with these people to increase their viewers, should they report good on him. So meaning he could pay for as you guys know, you can run promotional campaigns on lives and videos to get a higher circulation. He could be paying for that for them. There could be tagging things that are shared, but whatever it is, he is helping and assisting them gain more
and
money.
They're helping and assisting Megan brought him on, and Megan has something to do with Rosalind Duke, and then they're like buddies now, best of buddies now. Then you have and she's the one that's doing that eco tips line or whatever. She's the one running that and doing these investigations and stuff. It's like wow. Well,
I'll tell you right now, if I'm going to request an order from the court at the end of all this to shut all this down with Facebook. And I'll tell you right now, I'm going to sue Facebook and YouTube if this stuff isn't shut down, the stuff that they've done, because especially Facebook, because that hate site with his logo on it, that he could easily put a stop to, that he's allowing, because I think he actually owns it and controls it.
I think so too.
I think he absolutely.
He says some Indian company took it over.
Well, guess what? It's his logo, so he has implication in responsibility with that. Yeah. So I'm going to tell you.
All he has to do is fill out a copyright thing, and it's done.
Yeah, I'm going to subpoena the records for Facebook who opened that. I'm going to subpoena all the anonymous posts that have defamed and attacked me. So all these people hiding under anonymous names and puppets. They can get IP addresses. They can get, emails and everything on how they registered these Facebook accounts. We're going to get all of that, and it's going to all come out. But like I said, that's going to be in the second phase after everybody's, under the jurisdiction of the court because they've been served.
Right. Bravo.
Lisa, what's your breaking news?
Breaking news?
Yeah, somebody said news? I don't know. Someone said ask Lisa about the breaking news I missed.
What breaking news?
I don't know. I wasn't here.
I don't know. Who said that?
It was in the chat.
What was the breaking news, guys? Wait a minute. So, hold on. That's the old one. I think from the heating guy in Ohio. Oh, Robinson?
No.
Is that Robinson? Came back on a deep dive stating he is and was being sued for failure to provide the services contracted and failing to pay subcontractors. Didn't say if it was a current lawsuit. If so, that could be Robinson. He lost that case. Yeah, there was no breaking news. Like, breaking news,
Now, what did
maybe the fact that the websites point to bully exterminators.
Well, like
yeah, that Leslie. All right, so I did cover it. Yeah, that was it. The websites that Leslie owns the channel names now.
Yeah,
that I heard. I was here.
Yeah,
because
that's classic.
Well, because the thing is they live in a bubble that just thinks that that they're like the king of YouTube, right? But there's a whole, like I said, there's a whole internet world out there that has different forums to reach audience and everybody else, and that's my world, right? Because I've built businesses, I had to SEO tag, I had to build websites, I had to do all that stuff. I've lived in that world for a long time with GoDaddy and everything, and I know of a heck of a lot of other forums too. I just have to put the time into it, but I'm not.
No, I hear you, because I've done a lot of it. I actually learned how to do all that stuff because of the business that I was doing, which I don't really talk about much, but I can tell you that one of the weeds we pulled seems to think I'm a hacker of some sort, and I'm not. Yeah, but I know how to do all that stuff, so I understand where you're coming from.
You know what I'm saying? And you know who gets really good circulation, and he comes up all over the place. I'm Michael Volpe with Subscript.
Yeah.
That is a great, however he's doing his campaign, it comes up everywhere.
Substack, yeah.
Yeah. So I was considering getting that as well, and just, I have WordPress already, but there's a lot of other forums that you can just saturate, and I'm just not going to let them continue this false narrative without people at least having the opportunity or knowing where to go to hear something else. Now, if his audience click onto Hodunk, so they don't want to watch it, that's their choice, right? But maybe somebody does, and maybe somebody watches Hodunk's the satire and starts to think a little differently because they're like, oh wow, I didn't think about that. I didn't look at it like this. And it's teaching them to see another side to what has been basically monopolized in their brain by these people.
Right. I wish I could be like the cool kids.
Sure. Now you're a cool kid.
Cool kid. That song.
I'm telling you. So yeah, I have to like I said before, I have to file a response by Wednesday. So that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Because I still don't have a lawyer on this, so it's gonna still be come from me. Who wants to be cool? I don't know. I want a cool rider. What's that song? A cool rider.
Cool Junior.
Oh my God! Now I have the snapping of the fingers now. Who sang?
New kid in town.
Oh no!
Got
here we go.
fancy clothes.
Leslie, do you know that song "Way Cool Junior"? Let's see if she knows.
I don't know. I don't think I know that song.
Yeah, "Way Cool Junior." Well, there was 2 songs thrown out there. It is not New Kids on the Block, Terry. Oh God!
It's Rat, Terry.
It's Rat. Way Cool Junior. But Cool Rider was Grease too. Lori J got it.
Cool
I didn't even sing it right. Yeah. I want to see OOL RIDER. I want to be cool. It's so hot these parts. I had to take my rings off. Yeah, it's hot. It's fine now. Like I don't even know. It's not even showing me what it is. But was it hot out today, Robbie? Couldn't tell you. I wasn't outside.
Oh God, it was miserable early.
Really? Yeah. I thought it was the Backdoor Boys. The Backstreet Boys. That's what that Kevin dude.
I told you I kissed him. I kissed him in high school. I was like my moment. I told you that whole story, Lisa.
Yeah. That's why I said that's what that Kevin dude.
Yeah, no, that was cool. That was cool. Yeah. I told you I went to the 9 Inch Nails concert with Kevin Richardson from Backstreet Boys. This is when he was just released in Europe, and we went to the 9 Inch Nails concert, and he's like, one day I'm going to perform in front of a crowd this big. And a year later, they were blowing up in the United States. I was like, oh my God. Like, life, is this really how life works? Why did that happen to me in my life? Just kidding. But yeah.
That shit happens fast sometimes,
That happened fast because, like I said, I was hanging out at the 9 Inch Nails concert, going to Pleasure Island at Disney, partner dancing with him. He French kissed me one night when I was 17. And, and then all of a sudden, boom, the guy is like blown up all over the United States.
That's crazy. That's Tammy J's favorite band with the Backstreet Boys. Oh, John Capp said that. Never mind. Shut up, John Capps. Oh my goodness. So Robbie, you're pretty quiet. You're tired, huh? Pretty busy today?
Dude, nonstop today.
Really?
Yeah. No,
How many gators did you catch?
None. We had 2 calls, and The second one, we went out there to go try to catch it, but the lake's so choked up with lilies, you can't even cast in it. So I got to put out a bait line there. And then this first one was a...
that was the one in Lady Lake, right?
Yeah, Lady Lake was the one that was all choked up. But the first one, that one's a high priority call because it went after 2 guys fishing, and then kids were fishing the other day there, and it came after them. And so I was given the orders that I cannot leave there without having bait line up. So I had to put a bait line up, and that was a perfect lake for casting. We just couldn't get them to come in close enough to us.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Did you also go to the market too, or you got the call while you were on the market, so you never went there, huh?
I was on my way to the market. What's that?
Did Z go to the market?
Yeah, Z and Mimi had to go to the market, so Chris and I went after the gator, and Al came there and met us there. And Al hung out with us for a while, trying to get him to come in, and he was just too far. It's a big lake, and he's way too far out.
Leslie, have you ever been to Gatorland?
Oh yeah, because my kids have field trips there. So we've gone there. I've gone there a couple times. It's been a few years, but my one son's, like I told you, Robbie, he's a big animal lover,
Right.
But I'm petrified of alligators. Ever since I heard that story about Disney and them drowning that kid. It's funny because I grew up on a lake, the Butler chain, and I used to take out there was this like paddle boat I used to take out to the middle of the lake, and I would just swim all over the place. I grew up water skiing, barefoot skiing, all that stuff. But as I've gotten older,
when you were young, there wasn't that many gators around.
Yeah, because
what's weird is there's so many more gators now, and people feed them. They lose their fear of people.
See, that's what scares me, because like when I grew up, we would just swim in this. We never saw a gator. And then my son fishes all the time.
Oh my God, that just made me like, ugh.
Yeah, my husband, takes him sometimes towards like the evening. And they've told me that they've seen gators, and then that really scares me because, when you heard that story, what happened to that kid at Disney, it's like, oh my God, I've been petrified ever since. I'm just not the same, and like you said, maybe it's attributing to the fact they're increasing,
Right. Yeah.
But that is one.
Gabe said something to me about going out on the airboat. He's like, you never went out on an airboat, especially like, since you came down to Florida. I'm like, no. He's like, I never would. And he's like, why? I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, first of all, I can swim. That's not even a question. I was on a swim team when I was younger and stuff. I can swim. I'm not worried about being in the water. What I'm worried about is the gators in the water. That's what I'm worried about. I'm not going to fall into it. God forbid, or you get stuck for some reason. You're you're like the middle of the Everglades on an airboat or whatever.
Oh my God.
You're stuck somewhere? Hell no, that is not. I'm not going to.
My parents
I'm not even putting myself in that position. Sorry.
No, my parents told me that they took me tubing on the St. Johns River.
Oh my God.
And they said that they didn't know, because they just moved down from Illinois, that they didn't know that there was a lot of gators in that river. But I was tubing as a little kid, pulled to the back of a boat on the St. Johns River. I don't know how it is today, but I heard it was pretty gator infested back then,
That's crazy.
It wasn't too bad, but gators weren't, I don't know, people didn't feed them back then as much. And
I would love to go on an airboat too, but airboats, they go in the waters where all these gators are. I'm just not putting myself in the position to get stuck.
I'm petrified of gators. Petrified. Like after that
unless Robbie's with me, I ain't doing it.
Yeah. No, it's scary. Scary.
Yeah, I mean, Robbie will get in the water and like wrestle with them. So
oh my God, that is just they scare me to death. Cause because you even watch these like National Geographic movies or not show or the shows like on Discovery where like you hear somebody got like eaten by a gator out in like some, like some country, you know what I mean? Like it's just
right.
Like,
well, Leslie, did you know, you've been to Gatorland a bunch of times, you said, you know who's not allowed to go to Gatorland?
I heard it, you guys. I heard this. I think it was like one of the first lives I was on with you. You told me that Hales got into some argument with like Gatorland. I mean, who gets into an argument?
No, Robbie, what's the story? What's the real reason he's not allowed to go to Gatorland?
He lied.
Oh my God. What did he lie about? What did he do? I forgot.
He told Guapo and George that they were invited to be part of Florida Man Challenge, and they created a part of the Florida Man, because I used to do the Florida Man Challenge all the time. I did it for the first 2 years, and Mike and my team won both years. We used to paddle through the breeding marsh and then have a foot race through the swamp part where there were gators and to the end. And Jeremy wanted to do it, and so they created a part where, okay, fine, we can do this part with Jeremy. He can run down the boardwalk, race against Z wearing T-Rex costumes. So they did that.
Yeah.
And then, but Jeremy lied to Guapo and George and said they were invited to be a part of the Florida Man Challenge. And absolutely not.
Yeah.
It was a lie. And George got pissy with Savannah, and so did Guapo, and then Savannah found out that Jeremy had lied to them and told them that they could be part of it. And Gatorland never, ever said they could.
Yeah.
Yeah. John Caps. Anytime you want to race, John Caps.
Just doesn't end with this Jeremy guy, man.
No,
I'm telling you,
it does nothing but lie and just.
It's absurdity. Like I don't even know what to say. But it's not funny because what he's doing is real damage. Okay, it's not. It's like it's
because
really
he's lying on his channel and all these viewers. Sad. And then you got sad. Like,
how does someone lie this much?
Jeremy, I don't know.
I'm telling you,
about his life clearly, but I don't know.
Isn't he the middle child? So he's got that middle child syndrome thing. Not every middle child has it, but I think he's the middle child, right? That probably needed more attention.
He obviously didn't learn emotional regulation as a kid. He probably either he was overly spoiled, where he didn't learn, that in consequences, and just thought he could get away with everything, or he was around a family that constantly played victim and perpetrated the harm. Who knows? You know what I mean?
He always told me that he was treated like a slave. He had to work for his dad's store, and and I was like, okay, I had to.
He just posted a picture of his dad's of their family store and acted like this is where I learned hard work, and like it was all important, the things that he learned there. But yet he was acting like that with you.
He told me that it was basically a slave. He was a slave there, and that. And I'm like, dude, I had to work for my dad. He owned a construction company.
Well, there you go again. Slave as a kid. He's a victim again. Is there anything out of this man's mouth that doesn't equate him to a victim? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. While he's like suffering and making millions of dollars off of lying about people and saying it's his life, but he's talking about their life all the time.
You know what probably happened? His dad probably expected him to be raised like a man. You know, let's give
right. That's what it sounds like to me.
Maybe he would cry to his mom, "Dad did this," and maybe his mom ran, "Oh, little Jer." You know what I mean? Something reinforced this victim mentality.
You know, maybe he was sneaky and shady, and his parents knew that.
Does he know? I mean, so what if someone asked you to work as a boy growing up, you know, on whatever it is? I mean, that's very typical. I mean, look back at throughout ages, and kids would have to work on farms and plantations.
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
Zoli's been working on this farm ever since he's been a little kid, and that was the thing. You know, his doctors were like, keep him busy, because he's high functioning autistic.
Yeah.
And he has to be kept busy.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, our doctors were like, just give him more things to do.
Yeah.
And it was part of, you know, his growing up, because he had to go to school, and then he had his special classes, but he was always in AP classes all through from middle school to high school. And in high school, he was teacher's assistants and everything, you know, and then he was a tutor for kids in high school. But he had to stay busy.
Yeah. Yeah. So was that his biggest complaint, Robbie, with Hales, that he had to work like a slave as a kid?
Yeah. And then I was like, whatever, dude. I was climbing a damn ladder with packs of shingles when I was 13. So shut up.
Yeah.
Yes, he does have siblings, Todd, and from what we know, no, he doesn't speak to any of them.
How many siblings does he have?
I don't know. I don't remember.
3 or 4, maybe?
I don't honestly remember. So
there's a lot of kids in the family then. You know, is his parents?
He either has 3 siblings or there's a total of 4 kids in the family. I don't know. I don't remember. I just know that I was still saying 5. I'm not sure.
Once he started telling me about, you know, how terrible his childhood was, I just tuned it out.
Yeah.
Because it's like, shut up. Your parents did whatever they had to do to raise all the kids and keep you guys in everything. They did a damn good job.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Feeding them and everything. I mean, they're all together. They talk to his kids. You know what I mean? But he doesn't. He has no relationship with his siblings, his parents, or his children. But his children have a relationship
with his parents and siblings.
Yeah.
So
he's the only one that don't. Now think about that. He's the victim. He's the victim. It's never
that's
him.
What he's always going to play. He's always going to play the victim card. Oh, poor me. And shut the hell up. Why don't you grow the fuck up, you piece of shit?
Good night, Becky.
Take responsibility for yourself.
Yeah. Exactly.
It just doesn't make sense. Like every relationship he's in, he plays the victim, and there's always a problem.
It just pisses me off because I have friends that had shitty ass parents, and my wife had shitty ass parents and drug addicts and everything. And my wife she's phenomenal. She's incredible. She has a master's degree in business that is from a real master, actually University of Florida for her master's. And so he can bite me.
Right.
And she grew up with a mom that was a crackhead, and her dad was gone. Her dad and mom divorced when she was young, and she had a rough life.
Yeah.
She was emancipated at 15, living on her own. And I just hate people like that. My friends that grew up like that, my wife turned out incredible. I have other friends that grew up with parents that were shit asses, and they turned out incredible.
Yeah.
Right.
And they don't bitch about their parents. You'll never hear my wife bitch about her parents. I'll bitch about her parents because what she went through. I just think that's terrible. I had the best parents in the world who busted their asses for me and my brother.
Me too.
For my brother and I. You know, it was I hate that poor me story.
Yeah.
It's if it then get up and change it. Do something.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah.
It's if
it's like I can see if you had a situation that left you, messed up and trippy, but like, where is his? How does he victimize himself? You know what I mean?
It doesn't. His whole thing doesn't make sense. His parents are involved in his children's life. His siblings are involved in his children's life. Nothing you told me makes sense, you lying piece of shit. And that's my opinion.
Yeah. That's.
And go ahead, prove me wrong.
Yeah. He's always the victim in every situation. It doesn't matter what it is. He's the victim. You've done this to me. You've done this to me.
He's out there posting that I'm harassing him. I'm like, dude, I don't care about your life. I don't know who you are. I'm like, you haven't stopped with me. You know what I'm saying? You kind of invited somebody, like if I did Hodunks, you know what? Thank God I'm doing Hodunks. You know what I mean? To get through this guy's crazy.
Didn't you email him or something? Like whatever you did, you actually emailed him on or something like that? So is that how you're harassing him?
I was very nice to him. And when I was first I was asked to investigate this, right? And I was trying to be neutral. And when I started seeing some of this stuff come up and I watched what his son had to say about him. And then, of course, I hear that he's off preaching and basically holding himself to be a former preacher and, bringing a religious element into everything. It just didn't add up to me. And I'm like, what happened to this guy? You know what I mean? Because I'm looking in his history and I'm looking that he was involved in his church and he was doing all these things. And all of a sudden
his things add up.
No. And so I said to him, it was like, you don't have to keep being this way. Cause I saw that he was being horrible to people. And I was like, you don't have to keep being this way. It was a very non-threatening, like a nice email that just says, and I complimented him. I'm like, obviously you have influence over people and you've got the ability to lead, why don't you try to go back to your roots? Like what brought you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I guess that letter somehow got talked about, who knows, but he obviously found that a mock.
Well, I thought that was a genuine, a good.
It was.
I thought it was a genuine letter from you, but like so you haven't been in it. You don't know who these people are. Like, so to me, like when I heard the letter, I'm like, well, she tried, but the thing is someone like him, you're not going to change him. This is just the way he is. Yeah. And because you don't know the players, you don't know, you haven't been in it long enough. You're just thinking, oh my God, you have this platform, and you obviously could lead people. You're doing it. You know what I mean? Why don't you do it for good and not bad? He acts like he's doing it for good, but he's not. No. You know what I mean? It's all bad. And the fact that he could sit there in one breath, say and mock people, and then talk about Jesus. Like, are you kidding me?
Well, that's the thing. It's like when you bring in that element, you do ask to kind of have a different scrutiny, and it's like, I guess he's, people have told me he's talked about like Noah's Ark and,
the godlike, teaching lessons and punishment.
Yeah, I mean,
that's actually the way he ended his live last night, talking about punishment.
What type of God does he worship?
I don't know.
God. I mean, I don't know what he's worshiping, but that's not the God I worship. But it's all about punishment and about retaliation and eye for an eye,
Teaching lessons. Yeah. He likes to teach lessons. He's actually said those things recently on his posts.
How is he a teacher of any lesson? Come on. It's ridiculous.
Well, that's what he's trying to say. You know, he's going to teach these people lessons. When it came to the memorial, the reason the memorial was removed is because, you know, he needed to teach them lessons and to learn and have better friends.
Why does he need to teach anybody lessons? You know what I'm saying?
Like, he shouldn't be the one to teach anybody anything.
No, I mean, look where his life is at. He's in multiple lawsuits. He's had, you know, and this is one thing. He, the Levy County Police said that he's had over 30 police reports filed against him. This is public record. Since last March, and that he's had over 96 calls made to the Levy County Police Department since last March 2004. So over the last year, he's had 30 police reports filed against him and over 96 calls made against him. I mean, what lessons is he teaching anybody? I don't want,
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, yeah.
Well, that's why there's an open investigation on him.
Yeah.
So,
you
know, he can walk it off, but you know.
I don't get it. If you have a problem with someone, walk away from that someone, put them out of your life, and guess what? The problem's gone.
Right. Exactly.
But he likes to keep it in his life.
Look, guys, he had a 5-year protection order. A 5-year protection order from an ex-girlfriend.
From a girlfriend. Who the hell gets a 5-year protection order?
Yeah. A 5-year protection order from an ex-girlfriend who he was served this protection order the day he went on his first date with George. Okay. So 5 years into his relationship with George, this protection order ends. And do you know that he tried to contact that ex-girlfriend the day that that protection order ended? Just to let her know that he was still there and around.
He has to get the last word in. That's the type of guy he is. He can't walk away. He's got to hit you last, right?
I was like, holy shit.
That's crazy. And what a crazy, like, I'm sorry if I found out that some guy had
That's a little different, Bobby.
Like, if I found out that some guy was like being so crazy to his ex that, I mean, obviously I'd scrutinize the court records, but I would stay the hell away from him. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, just
it's a good creed, Shelbo.
Yeah.
I think we all need a drink.
just seeing
you bartending?
Or hearing his voice, just it makes my stomach turn.
Yeah. I'm telling you, when you hear enough of that voice, man, it's crazy. Because, like I said, I've had to go back and watch everything.
Yeah.
And that's where a majority of the evidence is.
He's
now it's just new stuff.
Yeah.
And he even said the other night that he's got to tame himself when he goes fly.
He's very high.
I'm like, no shit.
He's got a serious problem with impulse control. Very high strung. You know what I mean? And just very like, it's like he's just he's got to get you back. He's got to get you last. You know what I mean? He's that bully mentality kid, that little kid that pinched you when you weren't looking.
No, John.
You know, to throw a punch, he cries the poor me victim card, and then he gets you back last. Yeah. That's he's very juvenile.
Yeah.
It's just it's sickening. It's disgusting. Him and George both. They're just disgusting human beings.
Yeah.
And why don't you, dude? You've been involved in lawsuits for how long? It's part of your YouTube. Deny it. Go ahead and deny that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's been in court since he got divorced. He's been in court.
You know, first it was all about going to court for his divorce. Then it was all about what's her name, Marilyn Raby. Then it was all you know, and then it was whatever, you know, Michael.
It was that Mr. Robinson.
Mr. Robinson. It just, the list goes on and on.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure if he lived anywhere near like the West Coast, he would have had more lawsuits. You know, because of the whole like trip with Grimes fines and stuff.
Yeah, with Grimes fines, with the other guy, pirate treasures, whatever.
Storage pirate. storage auction pirate. Yeah, he had an issue with him. Yeah.
And,
well,
and all the West Coast guys.
Yeah, well,
right. That's what I'm talking about.
I about died when I saw a video of him going to like city council or something over like a some sort of a bill for like a discrepancy of like $50. And he's
water bill, yeah.
I mean, come on. Like when I saw that, I was like, this guy's out of his freaking mind.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he made that such an issue. Then that water bill turned into a whole big Otter Creek Town Council thing. He went up to and that's what he tried to do. Corruption in Otter Creek,
He's a drama queen, is what he is.
And then it turned into him against Michelle. And then that's been ongoing for 2 years.
Yeah.
So, and like I said before, it's like somehow he found a weakness or the strength in Michelle. I think both, because Michelle's a fighter, right?
And she went back at him. An 80-year-old woman, whatever.
Mary DeGroot.
Abused him or whatever, not abused, but battery.
Was this the video where he's like barging in and she tries to shut the door to get him out?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Battery.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. And all she did was like touch his back with her finger.
He's out of control.
Meanwhile, he was like keeping her in her room, wouldn't let her out. That's kind of like entrapment, like in a sense, kidnapping. You know what I mean? And she ended up having a stroke, like not long after that.
Wow.
Yeah. It's terrible. But after visiting Otter Creek and driving around, like I saw, I'm going to get emotional. Shit, I said I didn't want to. But after knowing that and seeing what he's done to this family for so long and driving around and knowing that he did that to this woman, this woman lives alone.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to let you guys know right now, I've decided that this year during Christmas, we're going to do something to help Mary. I'm not sure what it is. I know that she's got... her property can use some cleaning up and stuff like that, and she's by herself. So we're gonna. I know Gabe's gonna take it upon himself to do this. He loves doing these kinds of things, and so we're gonna help clean up our property and stuff like that.
Nice, Lisa.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I know that we wanted to do it last time, and we got all caught up and everything else, but we are definitely going to keep Mary in our what we're planning on doing. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're gonna do something for Mary this year, and that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really
because she can. I think that she can use. Not that she'd welcome it or whatever, because I know she's been very quiet. She hasn't said much at all. I don't think she really does. I'm not there. I don't know. But the town seems to, when he's not around, the town seems to come out and they mingle and, they start to get their freedom back and they feel like they could, move again, breathe again. The kids go outside and play. Isn't that sick that one person can do that?
It's like a virus,
And, so when they're not around, they have that, they get that back, and a lot of time is it's been this like the summertime, because he disappears and goes back up to Ohio, and that's a good thing for them. But I think it's sick that one person and his little team of minions can do that. But the town does. Yes, Connie, the town gets to breathe again, and I've heard this from several people, all his neighbors, and basically that town is so small that almost everybody is his neighbor. I rode around in a golf cart with one of the neighbors, and she was showing me like the names that we hear and stuff like that. through town council, like even Russell Meeks, Mary, Dawn. Like I've seen where they all lived and stuff.
It's a couple miles bearded.
But yeah, so I mean, I think that we're definitely going to do something to help Mary if it's just her property or whatever. Like we'll find out if she needs anything. But I just think that she should know that with that happening or whatever went on with Otter Creek, like they even tried to get Russell Meeks in trouble, and that didn't do anything. You know what I mean? I mean, Russell was voted in. He's actually still considered on the town council right now. I know they haven't seen him. I don't know what that means, but you know, Russell's a good guy, you know, and I just think that I can't speak for her. I can't speak for her. I just know that she's not been seen around a lot, and she lives by herself. And I know that her property could definitely use some cleaning up because Gabe and I, you know, saw it, and Gabe said he would do something. So, and he loves to do that. So I know that we're going to do something. So Mary is going to be involved in Christmas this year for sure.
I just don't understand him. Any of this, I don't get it. It's like you know, when COVID first hit, I'm a friend of mine owns SA Company. It's a t-shirt company, and they do hats and all kinds of stuff. And I called Tom up, my buddy who owns it, and said, listen, what would you guys charge me for these buffs if I bought? I need like 300 for our fire department in Sumter County, and I need 300 for, you know, I think I got 500 for the sheriff's department. And he was like, seriously, Robbie? And I go, yeah, these guys have to be out in this BS, and dude, at least if they're wearing a buff, it's better than nothing. And he goes, I'll tell you what, you don't owe me anything. I'm sending you 2 cases. And I was like, all right, cool. And I took a case to the sheriff's department. I took a case to the fire department. And, you know, I did it twice. I did it when COVID first started, and then I did it later on when COVID was still doing it. Because Tom called me up and he goes, hey, we're going to donate you another 2 cases for the fire department and for the sheriff's department again. And I said, all right, cool. And do stuff like that, man. Do stuff that actually helps your community, not that tears apart your community.
Yeah. You know. Yeah. I just think that she can use help. As far as Ruska's and town council, I saw was our good grandma. I just lost where it went. I'm not sure how it works. I do know if he wasn't there, that they can get, you know, vote for somebody else on town council or something like that. I'm not sure what his entire. It's up there. What do you mean? It's already yeah. I'm not sure what that means. I think, and this is just my personal opinion, that based on you know, the voting and things like that and what goes on, that, you know, if it's just him,
good night, God bless.
He has to go against 4 people that are always in agreement, and if he doesn't agree, I mean, like, what good is it going to do? You know what I mean? But I can't say for sure if that's how he's thinking. I don't know that, but he hasn't been there since being voted in, so whether that's him saying I'm not doing this, or, you know, I don't know. I just know he hasn't been there, but he was in fact voted in. So,
well, Lisa, I wanted to tell you I have to go to bed soon because
alrighty,
I have to work tomorrow in the morning.
Yeah,
but
I know I run these late night things.
No, it's all good. Hey, I can do.
I go to 1, 2 in the morning.
Good night, Dusty.
But yeah, but I'm doing we have jury room tomorrow at noon. But
yes, oh, that's right.
Yeah,
at noon.
I forgot.
Okay.
set up. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for having me on. Great discussion.
Good night, Leslie.
Talk to you. And Lisa, thanks again, and thanks everybody, and everybody have a nice night because I'm gonna go to bed.
Good night. Good night, Leslie.
Good night, guys. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Wow. So that was fun. That was pretty interesting. Start. I thought that was hilarious with the websites.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, I saw the Shizzy one, because it was sent to me, but I didn't know about the others. When she told me, I was like, "What?" Oh, I thought that was crazy. That's great. That's absolutely great. Because you know what? It's true. You're gonna sit there and talk about people. We're gonna make sure that people are gonna see the truth. The truth is, you're a damn bully.
He's more than a bully. He's just a piece of
I mean, everybody else. These are the minions that she did. So, I mean, she went after... She has Shizzy. She has Megan. She has J Hip. What's the other one? Oh, and Jeremy. So she did those. Lisa Germ said Mary had her heart attack. Was not his doing. That she must have felt guilty about stuff she did. Bullshit.
Yeah. Deflect.
Yeah. So I guess Jeremy should be in the hospital at some point. No, I don't think so. How could what was it?
Stroke.
Yeah. What could have been something she did if Russ didn't get in trouble for doing anything? What is it that she did? He's lied, guys. He's lied about everything. Everything. There might have been a discrepancy about his water, but you know what? He turned his water on and then took off for months. Who knows? He also added this 2-inch pipe. I mean, who knows why he was being billed the way he was being billed? I get it, but look, this guy. Think about this, okay? In Ohio, he lives in Ohio. He lived in Ohio at the time. This is a snowbird type thing, right? Think about this. This guy got on a plane several times to fly down to Florida and pay his water bill. Got on a plane over $20 or $5 or whatever the hell it was. It was no more than $25 discrepancy. Got on a plane to travel. Paid how much money for a plane trip? To travel for this water bill that he could have picked up the phone and called about. He got on a plane and filmed it. What do you think his purpose was? Was it to fix the water bill? Or was it
for content?
Put somebody on the spot, film it for content. Exactly. So he spent hundreds of dollars, actually thousands of dollars, because he did it several times, to fly down to Florida from Ohio to take care of this. I mean, as a matter of fact, when all these signs supposedly took place, he claims he wasn't even, down in Florida because that's when he's up in Ohio. Well, maybe he forgot that was exactly the time where he kept flying back and forth because of the town hall meeting being canceled and coming back. Yeah. So he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He can't remember his lies. And most of the time, most liars don't remember their lies. But his are caught on video. I mean, it's ridiculous. So you have to go through all the evidence and point it out and see it for yourself. But you can pay online or over the phone. Yeah. Thousands upon thousands. Yeah, it's all a tax write-off for him, He makes it. Look, guys, he makes enough money to write everything off. I mean, everything. And when you make a lot of money, you have to somehow spend it, Trust me, I bet you there's a whole bunch of hiding spots in that Ohio home that has a bunch of cash shoved everywhere. All his financials are not on paper. They're going to be faked. But you know what he can't fake is YouTube reports. Because those can be subpoenaed directly from YouTube. He's not going to be able to fake that shit at all. So, Robbie, you're quiet.
Yeah, I'm so sick and tired of all this bullshit. I'm sick
I
of
know
about him.
I can't wait till this Idaho 4 case starts because, and I still didn't find out. Where's Kendra? I still didn't find out what if they got that stay on him or not.
Does he pick on people due to the season?
He picks on people wherever he's at.
Like in the summertime, he picks on people in Ohio. In the wintertime, he picks on.
No, it's just wherever he's at. See, he's right when he says we film everything because we document our lives, but that's how he's catching bullshit everywhere. You know what I mean? Wherever he goes, he can start a controversy, and next thing you know, he's got a whole 6 month of some kind of story. You know, but yeah, like I really want to go over some cases. We're obviously going to be talking about this case because, you know, we're all involved in it. But there's nothing. He's got no new content. He's not going to have new content in regards to the, you know, Michelle and John. If he does, it's all made up bullshit because they don't have contact. That's the one thing you have to remember. They do not have contact with him. They haven't had contact with him in freaking 2 years. So it's all a bunch of bullshit. You know?
That's it.
So, you know, hold on a second. Hold on. Oh, I got to talk to you for a second. Hold on. Robbie, talk for a second.
What? Oh, my God. I am so beat, guys. I am so tired going after these 2 gators today. Long day. We didn't get anything done on the farm except the animals fed this morning and then this afternoon.
Okay.
And that was it. Going after these gators.
It's crazy, man. Sorry, I just had to talk to you for a second. Yeah. She said talk, not yawn.
I'm so tired, honey. I'm sorry, guys. If I'm yawning, I can't stop.
Yeah, they just want Jeremy to leave. Yeah, and so does everybody. Like he started in with his neighbors. Guys, the other day he got out of George's vehicle. Okay, and literally he got out of George's vehicle and literally tiptoed, peeked into their yard, their backyard. He's crazy. I don't know what he thinks he's gonna find.
He got out of his vehicle and did what?
He because he's down here and he's been in George's car, which is why no one's been paying attention to the drive-bys. Okay. Because they don't pay attention. George doesn't do anything. You know? It's Jeremy that literally films and stalks them, right? So, you know, that's how he got away with everybody not knowing he was there. But that's just it. They're not looking for him. They know when he's there because of his truck, right? Anyway, so he was in George's vehicle and he pulls up and then gets out of her Jeep and like tiptoes kind of over and starts looking around Brian and Tina's backyard.
No way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They saw him.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm like, holy crap. I'm like, what is he doing? She's like, I don't know what the hell he's thinking he's looking for. But yeah. Yeah. So he literally, apparently when he's around there, driving around, filming everything, he does it to a lot of people. Yeah. It's like he's a town Gestapo when he's there.
Yeah.
And when he's not there, he's got Travis doing it.
Yeah, but Travis isn't as good as him. And, you know, Travis tries to be like his minion, but Travis doesn't have the evil heart he does yet.
Not yet. He's showing. Wait, hold on a second. Hold on. I think I have to disagree with you there because from day one, now you have to remember, Travis's daughter is married to Tina's son.
Tina's son, I know.
Okay. And day one, Jeremy hired him to take that middle finger and spin it around and face Tina and Brian's house.
I know.
So what? Where's the morals in that character right there? He doesn't have an evil bone in his body. That affects his daughter.
he's doing it all because Jeremy said to do it.
Yeah, or he got money. He got paid to do it.
Yeah. And here, Travis.
And Jeremy mocked it.
Jeremy's ass
laughed about it.
Take a breath.
But he mocked it. He laughed about it. He's like, wait till you see, who's going to be here doing it. And it was Travis, the family, Tina and Brian's family. That's
so sad.
Yeah, that was day one. That's how he was introduced. So how evil is this guy? And what's worse about it?
That wasn't day one.
Yes, it was.
Day one. No, it was not.
Well, he took the fence down.
Travis was over there working around the farm, and Jeremy was over here filming with me. And Jeremy would stop every 10 minutes and go look at the cameras to make sure Travis wasn't sitting around doing drugs or anything like that. He's like,
he took the fence down. He ripped down the fence.
He had to dig up pipe. He had to lay pipe and everything. He did that first, and then the finger was way later.
Well, he introduced him doing the finger. It's a video.
Yeah, that's when he started filming with Travis. But Travis was
right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, the first thing on video he showed was Travis doing that.
I don't know, but I know Travis. I can say with 100% belief on my end that he was doing drugs because he was doing drugs with Sean Goodman, and Sean Goodman talked about it.
Yeah. Travis did the show in the house ranch. Yep.
Yes.
But that was after he was introduced on the video.
No. He didn't introduce Travis. He didn't introduce Travis. He just never really introduced him. He introduced him when he did the finger thing. But he was working for Jeremy for a while.
So when he came down and was helping you with the trailer, he wasn't known? Oh, or was he known?
He was barely known. He was barely known. Jeremy was letting him film at his ranch doing work.
Wasn't the encroachment videos before the finger video? I want to say so, yeah. I know, I just remember Travis in videos, he was tearing down the fence.
Yeah, that was
and
later on.
Then the finger. And then the finger. I don't know in what order that came, but he introduced Travis in the finger video. And it was like laughing about the fact that he was her family. Putting the finger. Yeah. Jeremy knew what he was doing.
Oh, yeah.
And Travis didn't care. And my point is that affects his daughter and his daughter's relationship with them. Now, did they hold it against her? No. They love his daughter. I mean, that's not even a thing. But you can't tell me that it doesn't affect her, knowing that her dad's involved in all this shit against them, which is her in-laws.
Got it.
And that I feel that's terrible, and he doesn't take his daughter into consideration when he does this crap. And he's been doing it for 2 years. So,
well, that's not even really Travis's daughter, right?
It's his daughter. What do you mean?
No, is it? That's his biological daughter?
I don't know. But it's his daughter. She calls him dad.
Oh, okay. I don't know about that. I just saw something one time. Someone wrote that it was his wife's daughter.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. I remember seeing that in the chat one time. So that I don't know. But I was like, why would you do that to your daughter?
Still, she's his daughter or his wife's daughter, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, she calls him dad. You know what I mean? So, like, how do you do that to your child, stepchild, whatever? You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, how do you do that? You know, I don't think Travis is as good-hearted as everybody thinks he is. I mean, hello, the cheating.
He's not.
You know, I mean, that's he's right. I think he comes off a little nicer than Germ, actually. But you know, look, guys, he literally lied to everybody about laughing about a camera while there was a camera right behind him, in everybody's faces behind him as they watch. And they're still mocking about these cameras. Okay. And they have cameras there. We've shown them. Why are they even trying to deny it? You know, they're there. Are they trying to say they don't work? Well, then how is he hearing things that were purposely said so he can repeat it? You know what I mean? They work. The audio works. The camera is the mole.
Good night, sweetheart. God bless and pray.
I just can't wait till it's literally just about, you know, the court case and what's going to happen to it. All this other shit is just, a lot of it's irrelevant. But you know, you gotta know who you're dealing with. And every time he puts out a video, there's some lie or bullshit along with it, and he does one every day. So. The Tube Town is just garbage on a block of dirt. Yeah. Well, he's wondering why he has to get an amusement license now, or permit. It's like, hello, you tried to make Tube Town into some little gaming, you know, facility. That's an amusement. You need an amusement license. You know, a permit, depending on how they have it worded over there. And that's not easy. Look, he's going to need a permit for this. And then once he gets that, he's going to need a permit for a whole bunch of shit that he's not going to get. And here's the funny thing. You ready for this, guys? Otter Creek does not have a permit guy. They're saying they do, but they don't. Okay? So, filling out forms, whatever, you know. It's not
Travis, here's something you don't need to get a permit for. Why don't you go get some clown feet, put a red nose on, and a multicolored wig, and stand out on the corner and just wave at people all day?
Yeah. Come on. Travis is claiming that a 5-year-old child harassed him.
Yeah. Harassed him.
By using the words Super Dave.
Oh my God, she's harassing me.
I mean, come on.
Christ.
You know?
Dude, how old are even the peacocks are laughing now.
I mean, if you have a 48-year-old guy sitting in a chair surrounded by a bunch of, like, you know, horseshoes and, you know, bird cages on an empty lot, really, you know, talking about the people across the street, staring at a fence, and claiming a 5-year-old girl being excited about receiving stickers in the mail from Super Dave is harassing him. That's crazy. That's how bad they need content.
That's insane.
Yeah. All while sitting there laughing about cameras that are literally pointing in everybody's face. And then when it's mentioned on here, all of a sudden he changes position and doesn't put that camera in the picture anymore. I thought that was funny shit. But he's lying. He's absolutely lying. And Jeremy can say he don't have cameras anywhere. No, Tube Town does. Guess what? Who owns Tube Town? It's not Travis. It's Jeremy. Jeremy Hales is responsible for everything that happens on his own properties. And that means, I'm sorry, Hang Your Hat Homes is responsible for everything that happens on his properties. Because that's who owns them. And who is Hang Your Hat Homes? Jeremy Hales.
Isn't there something else going on in the world?
There's lots of things going on in the world. You know. Lots of things going on.
Why do I waste precious minutes of my life?
Because he's involved you in it. He's involved you in it. Look, there's a purpose for this. And we may not see it right now, but in the end, there will be. You know, we help the child, we help the family, you know, and we're gonna see it through. You know, and because we chose to do that, we've been attacked, we've been mocked, ridiculed, defamed, and now we're in court and being sued for millions of dollars. So, you know, and we're gonna keep.
No one said anything but their opinion and their proof that you're lying, dude.
Yeah.
So.
And that's all we got to do is show it. No jury in the world is going to say that we're wrong. There's no way you're going to get 12 people on a panel to agree with Jeremy.
Wait a minute. He did a post today all about Harley.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, are you... What is wrong with you?
He said, hold on, I have it. I have every one of his posts. I save it for court. Hold on.
Really, Todd? I didn't see that.
He said, don't get distracted with the circus sideshows. Keep focus on the main thing. A child is being forced to live like this, and the authorities and agencies won't help her. And it shows a picture of Michelle the day of the invasion that he organized on her property. And, you know, and basically he's using the child again to hurt her and incite people to call in CPS. This is what he does.
You are a sick little man.
I have video of him saying that the reason why he did all these lawsuits is because he's protecting the child. Really? Is that how you protect a child? By trying to raise funds for a biological aunt to gain custody of her? And that's not going to work. Have you ever even looked up these people, this family, the biological family? They have no standing, number one. But you really should have looked them up, Germ.
He probably did. And he probably made them a deal.
Care?
You get the child back, then we'll pay you for the child.
To adopt, because he talked about adopting her. That him and George just talked about adopting Harley. So he wanted to get... I wouldn't doubt that by any means. It's a possibility, that's for sure.
Anything's a possibility with this idiot.
Yeah. I don't think after what he's done with his own children, I don't think anybody would give him... I don't think he could adopt. Privately, yes, but...
He did that in Ohio, so come to Florida and try it. And if he adopted it from the biological parents, that would be a private adoption.
Right. So that's definitely a possibility. But these parents, I mean, if they had to go to court first to do that, there ain't no way a court's going to give the child back to these parents. Why would they?
I just feel bad for Michelle and John Capps and Michael and...
John Capps?
Not John Capps. I feel bad for John Capps every day because that poor man, he has to function. I'm just kidding, John. I love you. But for John and Michelle and Mimi and
Yolanda, thank you. He's affected everybody, every one of his neighbors, every one of them.
Everybody in Otter Creek, everybody that's ever had to deal with this idiot, Jeremy's parents, his siblings, his children, his exes, everybody.
Storage unit people that he knew. You know what I mean? That he's affected everybody around him. Guapo. Oh my God. Guapo. You know? Everybody, and it's freaking sad. It's absolutely sad. But yeah, everybody in Otter Creek, every one of his neighbors that's like literally, right next to him, their property lines are connected. Every one of them across the street, behind there, Mimi right around the corner. You know what I mean? Like all of them.
His addiction is just it's just drama. He's addicted to drama for making videos to make money. We all have an addiction.
I honestly think he didn't have attention. I think he didn't get enough attention as a kid, and in turn he craved it, and he probably got yelled at for being annoying about things. And in turn, whether it's positive or negative attention, it didn't matter as long as he was getting attention. And that's what he's doing now. He's done that his whole life.
Everybody in the world's got an addiction. It just depends on what it is.
Yeah.
And, look at John Capps. His addiction is Kendra's OF page.
Kendra's feet.
Yeah.
So I just think, Cindy. Oh, thank you, Cindy. Prayers up, Cindy. Prayers up.
Whoop, Cindy.
But yeah, I mean, it's just crazy, And it's weird because we talk about so many other cases. It's just that we share a community of people, or we shared when all these channels were all good. You know what I mean? Meaning everybody was all friendly and stuff like that. We had a community. All the communities shared. There were people in each channel. There were people, So when this happens, when the Hoarder House happened, when things went down with Jeremy and Guapo, it's like a community news thing. It's like a high-end news within the community, right? This isn't national news. What will make this national news is when it comes down to taking away freedom of speech. Sadly, that's what will make this national news. There's so much going on. And when other YouTubers when they realize what Jeremy's actually trying to do, which is silence people, other YouTubers are not going to like it. So, I mean, this is just
nothing, God, because we know you are as well.
So it's pretty crazy, guys.
Dude, I got to tell you, my ribs hurt so bad today. Raw Dog had me cracking up all day.
Really?
Raw Dog is so funny, dude. The stuff that comes out of this kid's mouth, it's like, oh my God, did you really just say that? Did those words really just come out of your mouth? And I'm telling you, Raw Dog should just go into comedy and call it Raw Dog Unfiltered. Because that's all he is.
He should have his own YouTube channel.
Nah, he's got to go bigger than that. He's just got to go on the comedy circuit.
There you go. Be his agent. You know where to take him. That's a whole different ball game. I'm the fun kind of crazy. Oh man.
Yeah, I laughed so much today it hurts. And then him and Z. Oh God.
Yeah, I want to talk about different cases. Next time we do Mischief Monday, I want to get another case on here. Because I'm so over this shit, man. I really am. Unfortunately, we still got to talk about it. I'm just tired of this guy's antics and the bullshit he causes. So I definitely want to get on to some other cases, real cases that are national news. You know what I mean?
Listen,
as we follow along with our own cases here.
I think we should just have a case dissecting Raw Dog's life.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is, you gotta keep talking about it because you need to keep it fresh on what's going on and what he's doing. That's how we're exposing him on a daily basis with all his bullshit and his lies. Because he's not gonna stop with it. So obviously, we keep going. I just don't want to talk about it all night long. You know what I mean? I'd rather talk about other topics too. So, or other cases.
John Capsy. Yep.
So we got to keep telling the truth and keep it fresh, So that we got to do. I'd love to know more about what's going on with this Dinesh freak that Richard Ludman is going on. Whoops! Hold on, I think I just got a message.
I don't know that guy's a freak.
The Dinesh character?
Just from hearing what Richard said about him. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's like crazy. God, he went up and doxed the Supreme Court justices. Like, what? Oh my God. Like, talk about ballsy, The Idaho 4, except I'm not the hoe. What? I just read your comment. Did I miss one above it? Yeah. Does anybody know in the chat, and if you answered this earlier when I said, but does anybody know if that stay was put on the Idaho court case? Was there any judge's ruling to that? Hi, Marin. Hi. Thank you. That's so sweet.
What?
Barry Morpheus should be good too. Nothing today. Huh. It doesn't look like anything happened in court today. Except the fact that Ray is the summons is issued to Ray.
He's feeding the kinkajous, Bobby.
And all that means is that the paperwork's out there, so that Ray should be served. That's it. It was all posted when we all got served.
That was a what today?
The summons issued as to Ray.
What's that?
So it means he's going to get served, that they can serve him. They did it for me. They did it for everybody, really. I'm not sure they did it for you. Hold on. That would be in the very beginning of this. There's a summon for Richard. And they're lying about him, giving wrong information about him. Summons was returned for Michelle, John, and Marla. David Helm. Okay, so it says summons issued. It's John Cook, David Helm, Marla, Robert, Bruce, Patty, Lynette, Michelle, David, and Lisa. That was the filing number 6. So that's why they did it on Ray. So yours is already in there.
I don't know. That's when he
doxed everyone. No, but your summons is already listened.
Rips keeps asking me, "Did you get served? Did you get served?" I'm like, "No, not yet." He goes, "Damn it."
No, your summons is already listed there, and they just issued one for Ray. So Ray obviously had a Jane or John Doe name, so that's probably why it's showing that now. He did the summons for him. Doesn't mean he'll get served. Like you haven't been served, or Super Dave hasn't been served yet, and Richard hasn't been served. But they're acting like all the information they provided is true. So you know, which is not. They said Richard is a resident of New York, which he's not. Yeah. And it's funny how they said I was a resident of something, which is not true, but okay. Nobody knows. I just find it funny how they make all these claims and they don't even know what they're talking about, which means they don't know what the real stories are with anybody, and they're faking everything. They're putting pieces out there trying to make it true, which we've done all along. That is hilarious about the bullies. I just closed the window so that the bully exterminated. And you know what? I think it's funny that they did that because, or that Leslie did that because
Raw Dog sends me a
they're
picture of
talking
a
so
tear
much
coming
shit.
out of your eye.
They're talking so much shit, so it's good enough that it goes to bully exterminators. But in the, you have to understand, like they tried to do that to Super Dave, right? So I made sure that they couldn't do that, and I actually went and got those other websites for Dave, so that they couldn't do anything with them. So I understand people thinking it's not funny. I get that. I mean, I think it's funny that she did it and what her reasons why are, but I don't know. Like, what is actually on? I want to see what. Okay, no sounds.
Raw Dog, just go do a drop of water
load
on your cheek and take a picture and send it to Z. He's driving. He's pulling up right now. Hurry up and do it.
It doesn't do anything. Oh, let's see. Let's take a look. See.
Oh God, Jennifer.
What?
Chris's hands smelled like beef lung when we were driving home.
Ugh.
I thought the smell was burnt into my nose. It was Chris's hands that I could smell. Hurry up, Chris. He's just pulled up to the house.
Let's see. Where is Super Dave?
I don't know. I didn't even see him in here. Whoop whoop, Stacy.
Hold on a second.
Bobby. Did you do it yet, Chris?
What is Super Dave's channel with 1 L or 2 in Milltowns? Hold on. It's 1. Okay, I thought something was wrong there.
I did, Jennifer. They were delicious.
Yeah. Okay, it's 1.
Mike, what's happening, brother?
All right, so when you go to this, hold on. Interesting.
Best strike. What's save a fox? I don't understand that.
Did you finish going through your storage unit? Yes. I still have to pick some stuff up though.
Shellbell. Whoop, whoop. John Caps. Good night, brother. Prayers.
Okay. I need to talk to Dave. Okay. Well, I figured that out. Sorry, guys. I was just looking up something. Do we have a giveaway? No, we don't. Okay. Guys, thank you all for hanging out and supporting our channel. Let me ask you guys this, since you guys are here, you guys support us all the time. What would you like us to show on? What would you like us to discuss? What type of topics? Things like that. What would you like to hear and see us do on here?
Okay, Chris.
Save a Fox is a fox animal rescue in Minnesota. Oh, cool. Please, do you want me to let him know you want to talk to him? No, I'll email him. That's okay, Bearded. Thank you. The good thing is his website that he said somebody they went and got, it points to his YouTube channel, so that's a good thing. The girl who saves foxes committed what? Yeah, it's really sad, Jennifer. Other court cases, gem sales. Got gem sales coming. We're going to do other court cases. No religion, no spiritual, no politics. I can't help on the spiritual part. And you'll see why. But a new court case that no one is covering.
Wait a minute. Only the girl on it offed herself?
Interviewing subscribers once in a while. The inner workings of Stratocasters. I like your current setup. Cool, Marla. Thank you. Gabe sleepwalking well, we can only do that when it happens, guys. I can't force Gabe to sleep talk. Maybe once a week, something like that. You want us to interview subscribers? We could do that. We actually thought about it. Morgan sang in trivia. More Stone Kings. You agree with Sandra, who sang in trivia?
Duh.
Oh, vids of Gabe sleepwalking. Oh, he was okay with that, and then he's back and forth on the video thing. Yeah, we actually were gonna do that. We were gonna interview people so you can get to know people in the chat too. So we were gonna do that. We kind of got away from it. We got away from it when Kendra started having some health issues.
Well, her OF page got busy, so.
Shut up, Robbie. More Kendra with Hollywood gossip. I know, right? That's one thing we're definitely missing. She did. She was harassed and bullied to the end of her rope. She was on the spectrum among other illnesses. This is why you don't mess with people online like that, because you have no idea what's going on when they're not on camera. You know what I mean? You have no idea what they're dealing with in life. And sometimes they use their social media platforms as an outlet, you know? And then they may show a side of themselves that shows what they're dealing with, or they may not, to get away from it, you know? So you don't know who you're messing with. You have no idea. There's been so many people who have, fallen to that. It's terrible. interviews sound like a good plan. Yeah, I like that too. So I'll tell you what, guys, if you would like to come on the panel and talk about, your life and who you are and, what you like to do, things like that, we could interview you. Definitely shout me an email and let me know that you'll come on. I know Bearded will.
Hello, my name's Robbie, and I'm addicted to spicy foods.
Well, Robbie, why do you find that such an interesting topic?
Because I love spicy foods.
That's really sad. That is really sad. I'm reading the chat. You can always ask me things. Oh gosh, we can get Raw Dog on here. How many people want to see Raw Dog on here? Do an interview with Raw Dog. I know that would be crazy. Did you see the YouTuber that shot and unalived a couple in Vegas of someone he had beef with on YouTube? This is why this is crazy. You never know. Marla wants to see Chris. No one want to know about me. I don't think that's true, Cat Lady.
Why would you say that?
Get cut. What?
Cat Lady.
What? Oh, I know. Everybody's interesting. We need to get Chris on here. What? What did you just say? What'd you say?
I think my life's boring. It's nothing but work.
Oh my god. Don't even tell me you're not, what do they call it? Oh, fun employed. Come on. You love what you do.
I love what I do, but if you call it fun, walk a day in my shoes.
Robbie.
Most people love what you do. Yeah.
A lot of people love what you do. You love what you do, or you wouldn't.
I love what I do. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it. But it's still
right.
It's like again. I feel like
it's your passion.
Some days. Yeah.
Who is that in your picture, by the way?
Lucy.
Lucy. Carol is afraid of her.
Yeah.
He's absolutely afraid of her.
Should be.
Her and Ricky. I would want to see Chris. Aww. Well, prayers up for Michaela's family. That's so sad. Is this recent?
Why happened?
I'm asking if this is recent with the YouTuber. Spend a day in my shoes, can't drive, wife never wants to go anywhere, I have 0 friends, daughter works, traveling country, so. Aw.
Oh.
A few days ago, oh my gosh. Wow.
God,
if someone can send me a link via email to that I'd appreciate it. If someone is walking a mile in your shoes, Robbie, what will you be wearing?
Same thing I do all the time. Bare feet.
Yep, that's right, Lori J. Listen, you have friends. You have friends here. Okay, so Robbie, forward it to me too. Look up Save a Fox.
Right, Christian?
Not that I can go do anything with or talk on the phone or tap.
6-inch heels.
Flip-flops. I'm always in flip-flops. Or barefoot. Okay. Kristen's in slides. Did you ever mail anything out to me? No, it's going out with this one. Because I did win. Yeah, I was in the end of May, June. No, wait.
I am Kristen.
Yeah, in the May, June. I'm late on this week, on this mailing, guys. In case you haven't seen. It was supposed to go out last week. I'm so old, we used to call flip-flops thongs. Yeah! Well, no. Thongs, no. Thongs. Did we ever call flip-flops thongs? I don't even remember.
That's what we used to call them, thongs.
Well, then how did it switch to thongs being thongs?
I don't know.
That's what just tripped me up. I'm like, yeah, I remember, but wait a minute. No. How did it go from one thing to the other?
I don't know.
Weird. Is that like, a soda and a pop thing?
Probably.
Because as soon as I read that, I'm like, yeah. And then I'm like, wait a minute. How did it go from thongs being on your feet to thongs being on your hoo-ha?
The edible thongs.
You mean candy panties? How did that happen? Same here, Kim. How did that happen? What is happening with my camera?
Because underwear thongs look like flip-flops for your butt.
Edible flip-flops, ew. I believe it's West Coast, East Coast, because I grew up calling them flip-flops and everybody here says thongs. Really? Yeah, but I don't know. That must have been when I was I remember the thongs thing because it's the first thing I thought of. But where did it? Maybe it was thongs until I was a teenager, and then it totally changed. Flip flops with thongs until I became old enough to wear thongs. I don't know. Somehow it switched. Because they're not called thongs anymore. There's only certain flip-flops that I like, though. Like, I don't like the ones with, like, the plastic on them. I need material.
Let me guess, because you're a material girl?
No, because when you were younger and they had them like all the time, you get them all different colors. It's like the plastic, the stupid hole would end up coming through the bottom of it.
Yeah,
and if you'll trip over yourself. I mean, it happens with a lot of them, but when you have the material, it happens less. Remember the stupid little hole popping through? You trip and fall on your face. Toe floss.
Raw dog.
Yeah, I guess I do have a little bougie in me. We call them here jandals. Not sandals, jandals. Flip-flops are footwear in the UK. Yeah. What else would they have been, honestly? What else is called flip-flops? Besides people, like, Shart, flip-flopper. Jandals. We call toilet paper moon floss.
Moon floss. That's a good one.
Sandals are different here. What are sandals?
They got straps.
Oh, okay.
All right, here comes Z.
Not much material in bongs these days. Oh my god. I've got to somehow figure out how on earth we're going to interview Chris.
It has to be done after midnight.
After midnight.
Where's Z? Z.
Butt fodder. Okay, Jennifer. You think growing up with 6 sisters, I would know how to do my hair and put on... Oh, wait, that went by fast. Do my hair and put on makeup. No, I was a tomboy and always busy. Oh my gosh, I had to do... Never mind. My siblings never learned how to do their makeup.
Oli. Where is he?
I was the baby girl of the family of 9. Wow. What does toilet paper have in common with the Starship Enterprise? They both circle Uranus looking for Klingons.
Oh my god.
I'm the oldest, youngest, and the middle. You're an only child? Won't say we called pads and tampons wedges and plugs. Oh. Wedges and plugs. Oh my goodness. Was Tori live today?
Yeah.
I feel like I missed like 5 hours of my life today. Have you heard anything from MLF? No. Nope. I've never talked to MLS. I don't have any like emails from him because trust me, we're supposedly having a conspiracy going on. I'm like, I don't even think I've ever received an email from that guy. I know I've been CC'd emails with him on it. So, but other than that, I don't believe I've ever talked to him. You know? My daughter Uranus Fudge Factory and brought me some fudge on a t-shirt. My daughter Uranus?
Hey.
What?
Did you get your picture? Did you get your picture? Chris texted you a picture. Yes, he did.
Fudge.
He's checking.
Guys, I have to admit something to you. You, the Disney character, that was a cringe, but was human. Uranus Fudge Factory is here. Oh. It's called Uranus. That's funny. My brownies I made.
Why'd you send it to me, Chris?
I left them in the oven a little too long. Because I came out here to check my email and it took me too long and the timer went off and I didn't hear it. So it was in there 10 minutes longer than it should have been. Now, it wasn't burnt, but after, you take them out and they're no longer, somewhat soft, they got so hard so fast. So we couldn't eat them all. I ruined them. But at least we were able to have them that night, but there were no leftovers. Very crispy. Yep, I did an oopsie, that's for sure. Somebody asked me last night about my brownies. How are the brownies? That's pretty much what happened. No, they're too hard. I threw them out. They were fine, that So you made hockey pucks? Yeah, but we had them right after making them, so that was good. We were able to eat them. But after, they were no good.
This poor girl.
I put nail polish on my face for that picture. What? Square pucks. Chris, quit traumatizing everyone. Oh, hey, Mimi. Never. We need moon floss and see if he gets it. Oh my goodness, Robbie. Robbie.
What?
Are you falling asleep?
Yes.
Oh my God, you can't be doing this. There's only one person we know that would fall asleep online.
Oh, whatever. That person never worked a day of her life.
Oh my gosh. Go to bed.
I am.
Go to bed. All right, guys. That's that time. Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
I was listening to you, and I was like,
yeah, but when you're tired like that, you can't listen to me because I can easily put people to sleep when you're tired. I could do it easily.
If Gabe was in the room with you, I would have been asleep 15, 20 minutes ago.
Anyway, it's all good. We're going to let Robbie go to sleep, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you for being here tonight. We want to thank Leslie for being on. Tomorrow is Tuesday, Tidbit Tuesday, so we will be back tomorrow night at 10 o'clock. Let's see if we can get some Who Sang and some trivia in there. What do you think, Robbie? You up for that?
That'd be cool. I got to do gator calls in the morning.
Oh, so you're gonna have some live action tomorrow.
We might. We'll see.
That'd be a cool thing.
It's gonna suck if we have that big one on the line because Z and I'll call Al to come get him because then he'll be. Yeah, he's big, but he'll have to be put down. Because he'll have a hook in him.
No. Well.
Flutter, you gotta go back and watch. You gotta go back and watch the last live Flutter. Z caught a fish bigger than your pan.
Uh-oh. All right, guys. So thank you again. Prayers out to everybody who needs them. And we'll be back tomorrow. Definitely check out our mods channel and support them. And you want to say goodnight, Robbie?
Good night, everybody. God bless and prayers. And ta-ta for now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Who's gonna do it? Who's gonna do it?
Bye.
There it is. Toodaloo.